11 Venezuelan women freed, 3 held for human trafficking. Enrique Rupert. 14 hours ago, police at a crime scene. File photo by Jeff K. Mayers. The police have rescued 11 female Venezuelans who were allegedly victims of human trafficking. A police statement said an intelligence-led operation on October 8th between 3:40 to 8:05 p.m. led to the arrest of 3 suspects, 1 female and 2 males. Police said the 3 suspects are believed to be connected to a human trafficking ring operating in Cunupia. After gathering information and doing surveillance, the police went to a house on Ragananan Road, Cunupia. There they found 11 women who were being allegedly held against their will. The Central Divisional Task Force and the Counter-Trafficking Unit provided help throughout the operation. The 3 suspects are in custody as police continue their investigations. The Immigration Department was also contacted to assist with the victims, who are receiving support services. Police said they are committed to the fight against human trafficking and bringing the perpetrators to justice while ensuring the safety of the victims. Accept that DLS loss, TKR fans.
Newsday.
2 days ago, Captains Kieran Pollard, left, and Rovman Powell, center, talked to CPL Operations Director Michael Hall, right, and other officials during a delay in play in the 2024 Republic Bank CPL Eliminator match between Trinbago Knight Riders and Barbados Royals at Providence Stadium, Guyana on October 1st. Photo courtesy CPL T20. The editor. The Caribbean Premier League, CPL, is definitely a very entertaining and exciting event, and, like all other highly competitive events, there will certainly be controversies and disagreements at any level. The recent uproar, especially from the Trinbago Knight Riders, TKR, fans, which saw the Barbados Royals, BR, getting the better of TKR in a DLS revised target, deserves more thought. The point is that all teams have agreed to play under the DLS method of revision in case of certain disruptions in the game. The game was reduced to 60 runs in 30 balls, or 5 overs for the BR to take the win. It was at this point that TKR could have made an objection, which may have supported their cause, but because they went out without objection and played the game, it made the revised version legal and standing. The outcome of the game could have gone either way, and this is what was going through the minds of the TKR players, but BR batsman David Miller had the better of the TKR bowlers, and it was Barbados's day to celebrate. Weeks Hossein. Chiguanas. DLS method of revision in case of certain disruptions in the game. The game was reduced to 6. Clyde Alfonso. Via email. Diego Martin woman pleads guilty to defrauding bank for car loan. Jada Latu. 16 hours ago, Justice Lisa Ransomere Hines. A Diego Martin woman is expected to be sentenced next week for uttering forged documents to get a bank loan to buy an SUV in 2019. Patrice Bigford pleaded guilty to 4 counts of uttering forged documents on October 9th. She will be sentenced on October 15th. Bigford is accused of presenting a forged payslip, job letter, letter of non-indebtedness, and a partnership agreement to Republic Bank's Diego Martin branch on November 18, 2019, for a loan to buy a Nissan Qashqai from Massey Motors. The documents were later found to be fraudulent. After she was arrested at the bank, Bigford admitted to police she had applied for the loan. WPC Lutchman Singh Mungal of the fraud squad charged Bigford, who indicated she wanted to plead guilty on July 15th, when she was committed to stand trial. Justice Lisa Ransomere Hines said the case was a good one to learn from, in terms of filling procedural gaps under the new administration of justice, Indictable Proceedings Act. Bigford is represented by Adafia Tancuso Ribeiro of the Public Defender's Department. Charmaine Samuel and Gilliana Guy represent the office of the DPP.
To run scam without them and their endorsements. Them supposed to be
also the protectors of the public purse, and to make sure all I's dot and T's cross when it comes to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, them permanent secretaries. So I say it's a hard task because this country is corrupted from head to toe. Pastors, pundits, priests, everybody corrupted, almost. Just few. The God in Trinity gone. Because the people of Trinidad and Tobago, through its leaders, allow it. Because all of them submit themselves to evil, to the devil. All of them in all kind of way submit themselves to the world. The world. Your big time life. What's them past and putting on all of them big time life and this and that. They let that wobble them up. That they forget God, but they still preach God to continue to eat our food. Because what was going on in this country in the past 9 years, God needed to step in. And he's supposed to have people that stand up with him and teaching the word of the Almighty. And most quiet. Check it out. Most quiet. They don't have the belly. They don't have the will. Because all of them on the money. Wow.
As adults in the world that we live in, when we do something wrong, we are faced with consequences. If I go and just slap a random person in the street, there will be consequences for my actions. I would be punished. And most likely the punishment I would face for my actions would be way more severe than a spanking or a caning, right? So kids spend most of their time away from their parents in school. And in the schools, they form their mini societies, their cliques, personalities and behaviors that they will most likely will not display at home. In Trinidad, we had a system set up in the past where if a kid comes and he wilds out and he does the wrong stuff, he would be sent to a disciplinarian where he would be disciplined. So now, by removing that from the schools, you are removing kids' accountability for their actions. So they could just go and be total monsters and do whatever, and they will face no punishment. And then we let these kids out into the real world, and we wonder why these things are happening. So that is why I'm a big advocate for bringing back corporal punishment in schools. We are a society descended from slaves, and we shouldn't be letting America dictate our policies. Look at America. Look at how their schools look. Every school you go into has a metal detector at every front entrance, and armed police in every school. Do you want that for Trinidad and Tobago? Because by removing accountability for children, this is what you're pretty much looking at, and the problem will get worse. So whatever that happened recently, this was a direct cause of bad policy.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Wow. Send your voice notes. What's on your front burner? A pleasant good morning to those of you that are locked on to the Ground Report for the first time. Welcome to the #1 program in Trinidad and Tobago. Online on the morning here. None don't get big views in the morning like us. None. Yeah.
We were that we are going in. And if we go to the required and your man is just not so.
Yes, and well boy,
When the next time
you're the biggest thing on radio too. And now we're gonna become the biggest thing on television on a morning. Because we are about truth. You can't fight natural culture or natural talent, ambition. You can't fight the will. In which the host can them have in wanting to live better. In wanting Trinidad and Tobago to be a better place. Because I show myself and my co-hosts and them understand that one day we would not be here. And we leave it for our kids and our grandkids And if we are so upset while we are here in the way things are being governed, the way things are being run, the way things are being thief out, the way the country is being mashed up. You know, when we go on, we don't know how long after we try and go come and meet we. So we will want to be active while we are here in trying to create a better Trinidad and Tobago. This type of talk and what you all are doing have been going on for years, and we still have not made that breakthrough yet. Why some of you all growing up, you all hear all kind of calypsos singing, we want a better Trinidad. Oh, God, fix the water, the road bad, things hard. Look at that now, boy. This selling out, that's selling out. People are trying to go and benefiting. The 1% gone with everything. We're hearing this for years. How much are we willing to change, try to make a change in this before we close our eyes? So it's simple. What's on your front burner? What says thou this morning? What's supposed to make news that not making news?
Just a little harder.
Let me say a pleasant good morning to Nathaniel.
If we just give one.
Hey, COP, a pleasant good morning to you, my brother. Miss Lona, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Andy, Lennox, Mikey K, all my friends on YouTube, Grace Caesar, Nadira, Donna, the whole works, all morning, all. Andy, this morning, the bullying is number one on the agenda these days. But I want to take you all back to when Mr. Manning was Prime Minister, deceased Prime Minister Manning, right? He stood up in Parliament, and this is what he said. Andy, I know we have the clip. You can play it if you wish. But I'll tell you what I remember of the clip, that in Parliament, Mr. Manning said that I see hate, Mr. Speaker, I see hate, I see a man totally out of control. And Madam Speaker, you do not know the trouble I see with the member for Diego Martin West, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. Madam Speaker, you don't know the trouble I see with this member. And Madam Speaker, when he doesn't get his way in my cabinet, he bullies you, Madam Speaker. The member for Diego Martin West, when he doesn't get his way, he bullies you, Madam Speaker. And I, at the head of the cabinet and Prime Minister of this country, am not going to tolerate such bullying in my cabinet, Madam Speaker. And Andy so said, so the Prime Minister now was fired from the cabinet. Mr. Manning warned us about this Prime Minister, now Prime Minister, but we didn't take heed, right? Thanks.
So Mr. Manning warned us. Well, everybody know that. Everybody get the warning that we have a jammit in the parliament. A political jammit. Hey, Madam, a pleasant good morning to you, my brother. Thanks for that papers, man. I know we're going to Rusty Nail these days. He getting up late or something.
So the terms are broke and they say that we need to jamming. So no foreign countries spring is not migrating. They say the country they say look for migrating. They say no more good we see happy times again. But we will recover my people like have confidence. Although many may seem to feel that I talk is nonsense. But majority are willing to side with
Yes, yes. A senior in the Express here, the Daily Express, they're saying alarming rise in lung cancer.
So our people listen, just aim on.
Remember, everywhere you go there, everybody is seeing they now. PNM give all them young boy the right they did. Yeah, boy. Who you gonna rob, boy? Oh my God. Hey boy, oh boy. The Alsing cases increase from 10 to 367 at Mount Hope. So you have alarming rise. They say in the lung cancer. Yeah, they say over a 5-year period, a number of lung cancer patients at the Eric Williams Medical Center at Mount Hope increased from 10 to 367. You know, the Alsing and them like to come with all kind of thing too. Remember, you had to be a hero around election. You get to be a hero. Go, Pete. Don't wear a mask. I want you to wear a mask. Boy, and that man, the song so, I ain't gonna lie, man. He the song so feminine. Yeah. He song very feminine, man. Don't song like he's a man at all. Only but he's a man because you know people like to sue people for definition. A letter go come saying the pit bull is saying that my client is a girl. My client name is the Alsing. He's a man, and I ain't saying the man is a man. But I find he is act like a girl and talk like a girl. Hey, all, he's a man. Well, don't send no letter at all. Where the hell is this? Well, we are also seeing here that the assistant commissioner says cops followed protection order. They say the cops had followed the protection order protocols. They issued warnings after mom. Right, they issued warning after mom. Oh, God. Right. Oh. Right, so they're saying stay away from abusers. Yeah. So they're saying stay away from abusers. So they're saying, well, he's assistant commissioner now, which is Wayne Sturge, eh? Oh, Wayne Maisha. All right. That he and Allen brother-in-law. Okay. Okay then. Oh boy. And while trying to go through the phone, I said that message coming in and throwing me off.
But we know to ourselves there could never become a day. We're not deaf because it's country we can be. So who wants to vote? So I have no objection. But while outside I want you to have some fun. That your country of good within its worst day in history. And we must do what
Hey. I feel like getting in contact with Ava, man. Yes. I don't know if it's a calling name, you know, we will go now. Morning caller, where you calling from? And what's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
Good morning, Apache here. Morning. Long time no.
Morning, Apache. Hey, let me.
You know, listen, talk about anyway. meetings to the staff and the crew at the studio there. We were talking about Mr. Well, I say Mr. or Mrs. Dial Singh there. I always
Hey,
say that.
Mr. Dial Singh, partner. Boy. Mr. Dial Singh, but I understand what you're saying. But yeah, but he's a man.
Listen,
He's
but
a
tell
man.
us something.
Yeah.
This is serious, When PNM talk about left foot, right foot, and I always keep saying this. That man was my classmate at Kira Presbyterian School. When we used to kick football in the back of the school, it have a little savannah there. Serious, This man just stop the ball with his hand, and he just study to kick the ball with which foot, the left foot or the right foot, if he have any foot at all. That is the state of that man. Now getting back to the police and them and the how should I say, and the shenanigans. Imagine 3 officers or 2 officers were recently allegedly hold for kidnapping and whatever. The next day they went and released a police officer. They give him bail, $500,000 bail, and give him bail because of the shooting at courts or wherever, that in Barataria there. Then after next thing I hear, they released a soldier.
Wait. The officer that is the officer who was in the shooting incident with people with something that they're supposed to buy from him or something.
Yes, exactly. They give that man $500,000 bill.
So he get bail.
Yeah.
All right. And what about these set here who they say went to the police car and kidnap somebody or whatever and they get locked up? Any of them get bail?
Them fellas, from my understanding and my information from TTPS, them fellas still arrested. But one of the allegedly accused officer, his attorney has written to the commissioner of police because you could only hold an individual for 48 hours if you don't prefer charges. You could only hold him up to 48 hours. So one of the attorneys for one of the alleged police officer has filed I don't know what the name of it, but he has filed a motion that why he is not released or being charged. The perception or the thing behind it, what I'm getting at, is this. Why it is even the TTPS, and this go to the Commissioner of Police, Ms. Euler, why project this image of you saying that, we could treat all of them, fair and quick and fast justice and everything. But yet at the same time, you just hold 2 or 3 of them for an alleged kidnapping, and the next day you went and give bail to another one. I mean, show me the common sense here or the logic in it. What are you trying to tell or show to the public? You arrest one, but you release another one. It does not show a good image. The image of the TTPS is really, really, messed up. It is really messed up. There are a lot of police. For example, the strength of the police service in Trinidad and Tobago today is around 7,500. That is the strength, which means including male and female police officers. Do you know 10%? Listen to this carefully. Do you know 10% of the police service of the Trinidad and Tobago police service is on suspension? Like nearly 750 police officers on suspension. It has some police service in the Caribbean islands, don't even have 750 men in it. But yes, 750 men on suspension. I know the sad part about
Man
this.
or woman on suspension. I doubt it's only man.
I'm talking about the strength, which means maybe male officers and female officers.
All right. Yes. You go ahead, my brother.
All right. I don't know how many female officers are on suspension. I don't know how much male.
No, I just wanted to make sure that it have females in it too on suspension now. So, yeah.
Of course. So the question is that it begs to be wondered that, for example, like I said, if the strength is 7,500 men and women, and 10% of the police service members are on suspension, that's approximately 750 police officers. Now, they were giving Gary Griffith old thunder about this and that. I mean, I ain't batting for nobody here, but the thing about it is that when you add up the salary for them 750 personnel on suspension, now they are on half-pay suspension, They are on half-pay because they have not been convicted of any offense. So which means that these 750 men are getting, men and women, or personnel, let me put it that way, personnel, are getting paid to stay home. And yet, some of them matter go on for 5 years, 10 years, 12 years. I know about police officers from Tangarigua. He spent 14 years on suspension. He come and he win the case, he get a big lump sum, and he leave the country. It just goes to show you is who, listen, it's, who guarding who. It just goes to show you. And then Ola and then go say no that, when you have information, give it to the police. The question is, which police you're going to give it to? Tell me, which police you're going to give it, because you can't trust no police officer again. And the other question that I'm very, very, very concerned about is that they went in Mova recently, and they make a bus in Mova there, and they get, listen to this one, they get TTPS issued uniform, boots, bulletproof vest, and firearm. Why it is, or how come these things are out there and yet they can't hold nobody for it? Let me go back a little bit again to a couple of years ago in the forensic department. Remember there was a robbery, I believe, or a breaking in the forensic department. I don't forget things that easily. There was a breaking or a robbery in the forensic department, and nearly about 40 to 50 firearms was stolen. What became of that investigation? So the question is who is really in charge of who? Gentlemen, have a blessed. I could go on and on and on and on. I'll have a blessed day and be safe out there, brother. Blessings.
Thank you very much. Wow, wow, wow. All those people on suspension. Ah, boy. Lennox Smith, a pleasant good morning to you.
Pleasant good morning to you as well, my friend. I was just looking to see my last piece of information with respect to those three officers, I believe it is, that were held for inquiries into that kidnapping and the eventual, of course, death of the kidnappee, the person who was kidnapped. I'm fuzzy on it, but I think that they were released, if I'm not mistaken. One, and the term that is used, I suppose the lawyers will have gone to the courts to get what is called a habeas corpus, which is to say to ask the authorities to produce the body of those individuals having, of course, infringed or having them stay there more than the legally allotted time in custody or for police inquiries. In the 72 hours they have maximum, and then they must be released unless, of course, they are charged, which of course shows a different picture on the entire investigation. So, but I will confirm that during the course of the program. But my last information is that they would have been released. So there must be some technicality within that to, of course, generate that outcome, at least that temporary outcome at this point in time. But a pleasant good morning to all and sundry, east, west, north, south, central, our friends in Tobago and wherever you are streaming on the World Wide Web. A pleasant good day to you. Don't forget, of course, the barbecue tickets. We are still, in a position where we have some more tickets. So those of you who are last minute people, and of course, you will note between today and tomorrow, today already being, of course, Thursday, so you'll have to know today what are the logistics in terms of where to pick up, etc. I have made a commitment with respect to those persons who have been in contact with me, where it is required and it is necessary. I will try and endeavor to make the deliveries. But of course, most people.
I would think for those who supported.
Would want
supported
to
me.
go on their own, especially those with convenient transportation. Let me put it that way. So all of that, but please
Oh,
get your
boy.
last minute rush, so to speak, today, because of course tomorrow is the day, and of course when you know where the venues are, well, you simply go there and support us, because it is about the support of the ground report and the multiple activities that we are engaged in, and we want you to participate, if only by, of course, purchasing several tickets. I appeal again to the business community, give your staff, a nice lunch tomorrow. Of course, it's a patriotic lunch, we call it, where, of course, you will be supporting a true patriotic entity called the Ground Report, of course, and then telegraphed or televised by the various platforms that are associated with us, Real Media, TT, of course, the work the Workers' Rights Union, and then of course you have the Corridor Transformation, and you also have the Observers. So all of those are coming together in order to make this effort possible. Again, it is about, as Andy rightly said, highlighting, of course, the issues of the day, particularly in the political sphere. Let's face it, without, or put another way, politics influences every aspect of human life in any country, and therefore Trinidad and Tobago is no exception. And where there is evil, where there is attempts to become autocratic and despotic, or um, authoritarian, or there's another word for it, of course, dictator, then of course we need to pinch ourselves and take appropriate
Yes, yes.
corrective actions. So those are the
Oh,
areas.
boy.
I don't know if you have cause. If you have cause, well,
Yeah.
take
Let's
time and
continue one or two of
respond.
those voice notes and them there. Rusty Nail, a pleasant good morning to you. Oh boy. You're up early. Thanks so much. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Eh, eh.
Andy, our Calypsonian is true prophet. They speak the true gospel of what's going to take place and what is coming. Imagine crazy the first man who predicted that America will have a black president. And the command passed through. David Rhoda, Haiti. And Haiti end up with a terrible earthquake. Andy, I remember when Manning take over, the first person he make Minister of Education was his wife, Hazel. And she go in a function and use the word breakfasts. A National Security Minister, Joseph, arrests. So it's from then a day and when we started get who don't know what they're doing and how they're leading and how they put in a future for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. The PNM gone mad since in the 50s. And the man is a man, but he double standard.
So is more bully than Kamla. Huh? Just imagine you had an internal election where all members was free to participate and contest. And because certain individuals decide to contest and challenge the Prime Minister, Kamla, they were blacklisted, they were ostracized, they were isolated. Now they call them what, dissidents? That isn't being bullied? Oh yeah. And what is so disingenuous about Kamla and his supporters? They talking about the bad talk the party and they say this about that and whatever they say about the leader. So that is why they're more or less blacklisted. But Philip Alexander and Guy Gifford said the worst things about Kamla, yet she looking to embrace them now. That is being deceitful.
Andy morning. Violence in schools is becoming the norm. And I believe is as a consequence of social conditions in the wider society where you have a lot of people struggling to survive. And they don't have the time to properly take care of their children or focus on their children's education because they basically parents are basically either making their children too young, they don't have the proper education or the proper know-how as to the importance of education. So you have a lot of children on a daily basis going to school but not understanding the purpose of why they're going to school. You have a lot of children. The school curriculum system is not designed where children understand the value of education, where they appreciate education and what it can do for them. So a lot of children don't go to school to to learn. A lot of them go to school to lie, to cause trouble. So violence in school is out of that. And then further to that now, you have the Ministry of Education trying to cover the topic or trying to hide the topic instead of trying to deal with it. And that is why it reaches to this stage, because they try their utmost to cover it up, to make things look like it's all right. Because remember, they don't want to be looking politically incompetent. And that's the results you're having now. So unless we decide to deal with the problem in society at large, the problem will not be fixed.
And Mr. Paulus, man, embrace a devil and let him loose on we. Who say he went Lekoto for him?
Oh boy. Oh boy, just send those voice notes. I'm gonna just play out about 3 more, open the lines. Go into some more headliners. Giving you all the opportunity for me to hear what's your front burner. And I know the Guardian seat was under 500 murder. Everybody saying it's over 500 when they check it with DJ murders, the DJ man murders and them. They say, well, it's over 500. And then I will like watching all that chop up here. So, then go lie, is the devil spirit of Rowley roaming this land? Man instead thinking good. You feel all these people in that problems all the time? That chopping up the ex-woman burning down she new man car and them kind of bacchanal thing. And like the demon that Rowley released. Like the head, he's a demon. Watch how that is go. When Kamala was there, he wasn't getting all these heinous, bacchanal thing just so. It's that things in and in between, you know. But it's every day with this devil Rowley. He being the head. All they expect. What all they expect.
Well, the Bible speaks of that, when evil and sin and sinister acts in high places, and therefore speaks, and of course reference Sodom and Gomorrah and Babylon, when of course they had to, with all that sin, they had to get out. And even of course, if you turn back, you turn to a pillar of salt. Well, some people love it so much that they did in fact turn back and were destroyed. So there's biblical reference and credence for that kind of human activity or human tendency. But I want to say as well, if you don't have a call or you don't have a voicemail to play, I want for the first time to agree with Mr. Paulus.
Let me play it. Yes, I have. I thought you was just thinking on
go ahead,
that. Yeah. In between, we will organize and
you were getting your technical problems as usual. So that's the dead air. So I thought I would fill it up in the meantime. But just making the point that for the first time in a very halfway manner, I agree with Mr. Paulus and his comment about, of course, the apparent hypocrisy.
You agree with Mr. Paulus?
Yeah. But
no. I want to hear what my Lennox Smith agree with Paulus for. Because that go be real next same day. Because the social media will go mad. People will call and cuss him. And then he go say that he said that and I never give him the opportunity to clear. But you paying fair money. Wait. You go ahead, caller. You had asked Lennox Smith how we agree Paulus first. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah.
Go ahead, because your money running. Go ahead.
This morning in the news, I hear the Minister of Education saying that there is an increase in nearly 500% in school expulsion of children. You don't have shame to say that, boy. You have a man of minister. He already choose a security minister sleeping whole time in Parliament. They choose one who is Minister of Health, the health system in a mess. You come and you choose this one for education. Them don't shame to say what's going on. They are increased by nearly 500% of children being expelled because of violence in school. And then you have this next, hey boy, I just want to call these people some name, boy. When I start going and call these people, these parents, to have a meeting on school violence. Them don't have shame, boy. When I start, that is all the sense you have, boy. It has so much of school violence. Why do you send out the police officers and them to deal with the crime, the school violence? You want to have a meeting, it's only have to talk. Hey, Andy, these people that provoke people in this nation, and only provoking the people in this nation, and And you know what the Minister of Education said? She never get no report on any, there was no report made on any, the death of that little boy. They never get no report on any violence or anything.
Who said that?
The minister. She says she never get no report from the principal or nobody.
Okay.
Right? So this is something for when by start to investigate. Right? Go, the parents of the deceased boy who hung himself, since she make report to the principal, to the school, to the police and everybody. And the Minister of Education says she never get no report on that. So who lying, boy? And who already lying? Then I hear see an outline of several things by the opposition leader Kamala. Some of the things she want to do. Right? I hear she talk about any plan for corruption by politicians. That should be top of the list. What this woman has been drinking, right? So much corruption in this country. That should be top of the list, Andy. But this woman talking about baby grant. I want to know what is this baby grant. Is she encouraging people to go and make children and give them money for it? Like this woman sick in she head in her way. That what she doing? Andy, like so much of wickedness in this country, but I just don't know where to start. But this is the latest one I hear on the news.
But let me say something. Because you're always criticizing the UNC, but you support the PNM. Right, and in elections coming here, where although it's not my business, it's up to you if you would like to say or not. But do you support the PNM? Or if you had to vote in elections coming here, who would you be voting for?
Andy, I just voted on this station as a UNC. Andy, you wake up something. Let me say this to you this morning. Andy, since in pandemic time, as a paid member and a party, I am a party card since pandemic time. They have a list in UNC office, wherever there is the head office, with my name on it. I ain't ashamed to say that. I'm not going to support, I'm not paying them. But the thing about it is, we fed up our politicians. We fed up our PNM doing the wickedness. And Kamala coming and doing the same, almost the same thing. Where is the plan for the corruption against politicians? That is what we want to know. You know, on that Kamala, she paid Alwari $20-something million for rental a building when there was nobody in it and not being used. I mean, Andy, don't let me talk about our.
No, but she made that contract there. She made that contract there. Right before the elections, they rent the building. They the government had to hold on tight.
Yeah, 3 years.
For a few years.
3.
So
One,
if
2, 3.
act was made and nobody using the building, so that money must be paid. And I can never understand that, boy. I could never understand that. Never understand.
But criticisms towards you being a UNCSA, towards Kamala and the UNC, do you believe that will help in any way we getting rid of the major problem with this taxing lion thiefing man you call Rowley and the whole bag of blighted ministers or unholy, ungodly set of people. You think in any way your contributions are helping we to rid us from this demon of a prime minister?
And my criticism is not for to go against UNC now, but it's for them to know the decisions they're making and the plans they have is not in agreement with something that should be done. Right? I was saying. I am saying again, as a UNC, as a paid member of UNC, I will tell you something, Andy. Listen what I'm saying. The 2015 election, a few weeks before, Kamala's secretary called me and asked me, she said, Mrs. Bissessa, I would like your support and your vote for the coming up election in 2015. I said, Madam, could you just ask the Miss Bissessa, I want to talk to her for 2 seconds, please? We went and asked Miss Bissessa, and she come back and said, Miss Bissessa, busy. I said, could you just tell her just for a few seconds, I just want to say something to her. The secretary went back to Miss Bissessa, and she come back with the answer to me. She said, Miss Bissessa says she's very busy, she can't come to you. And 5 years passed, and you can't call me to ask me what I want in my district, but you're calling me to vote for she? Ain't she calling me to vote for she? That was so shameful and disrespectful by Kamala Bissessa. You understand me? 2 minutes out of 5 years, how many millions of minutes is that? And you can give me 2? But there's a talk show man on the TV. Every evening, I see this pick up his phone and dial she the man. She does answer it one time and talk to him for how long? What kind of nastiness is this? That man could call you and answer immediately. And talk to him nice. But you're calling me to vote for you and you can't call me for 2 seconds and ask me what I want in my district. Andy, you think this woman right in she head? She can't even stand up for her own people. She can't stand up for her own self, much to stand up for she people and ask them what they want. And I hear on listen what I'm saying, and I hear on an interview. I don't know if it's this show or at some other show where how you call this man, Jack Warner. Listen what I'm saying, I hate him. Jack Warner actually to build a hospital in Chaguanas, and she tell him no. She tell him no. You know what she do? She spent over $10 billion in Arima, PNM constituency, where she built a hospital for nearly about $3 billion. There was a bridge in Mount Pleasant in Arima that over 30-something years, with all the oil boom, PNM never rebuilt that bridge. She built it. She come now and there was a set of miles of material packed up on the highway there from Tunapuna to Almera Road. She went and fixed the highway. She built a new police station for them in Arima. How much money she spent? And she gave a PNM councillor 5 acres of land. 5 acres, I could call the name and all. 5 acres of land. And the Hindu school, here we're telling you now, Andy, the Hindu school is in Temple Street, next to a place where always are shooting and killing. Can you stand up?
Let me ask some.
Yeah.
In the internal elections, who did you support? Did you support the star team in which the political leader Kamala Bissessa support, or did you support the other members of the UNC on the other side?
Auntie.
Barry, it's a straight question. Just trying to sort you out. Oh God, answer that first now. Look, I listen, mate, cut you off, look at thing, right? You say you do support the UNC, you're asking questions. So just answer that and then you think now. In the internal elections, who did you support?
I didn't.
All right, even if you didn't vote, who you were supporting in that internal elections? Was it the slate that Kamala Bissessa endorsed, or was it the Paris slate?
I will not support none. I didn't go and vote. I ain't supporting none.
All right. Thank you. That enough. You can't talk out so long, man.
I just want to.
I ain't cut you off because I want people to say that, look at that. Because the man talking about the look, he cut off the man thing. Look at the time, look how much time you take there. It a research everybody had a call in and all kind of thing, partner. So guess somebody else a chance now, now, partner.
I just say what I have to say, and I think it was wrong.
All right, partner.
People.
All right, partner. Good, have a good day, sir. Yes.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith. Bang, bang, bang.
Lennox Smith, and some of the things that he's saying there, let me check to make sure that anything that he said is accurate at all. Because I don't think some of the things that he's saying there that he is accurate in some of the things he's saying. But let me take a next call. Morning caller.
Well,
Andy,
what he gave was his personal experience, so we cannot judge that. Good morning.
Good morning, Lennox, Andy, Mikey, and to everybody. Lennox, you will talk after, holding on long enough.
Yeah, go ahead.
Andy, yesterday morning, I come and I tell you about the conversation Woodbrook and I had. And I no convinced David Rudder wrote that song, Bacchanal Woman, after he. He had quite a few others, right? Let me pick it apart. No, it's true.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hell had furious, a woman scorn. And you are only hearing scorn this morning. Scorn upon Kamala this morning because Kamala didn't give him a 2-minute phone call. He don't even know if the person really went and asked Kamala to talk to him. But you come here this morning after 10 years to come and say that Kamala ain't call you. You sounded like somebody who didn't get the hot roti and the cold chubby. And who she not consulting with what she doing in the elections, in the campaigning. Right? Now let me pick it apart. Kamala pay. Kamala, let me fix my teeth good before I start sounding like he. Kamala pay Faris 23 million. Kamala paid it though. It wasn't, she went in there, as you rightly say, and found that contract because Faris did that contract on the eve of the general election. And they were sealed, they were locked into that deal. When they went in there, Marlene Kudre, the then local government minister, she stopped the rent. So what crap he talking about? It's the same crap he coming to talk about. Kamala, what stop the beating in school? And it's Kamala, it's because of Kamala all this going on. Hey man, you really hate Kamala. Take my tell you, I don't know what Kamala do you. Rowley doing you all kind of thing. But you every morning you're on Kamala case with your hatred. We some of us have 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot out, and yet so we hate so much. It's a lie. And it's when, do you remember when we went and protested around that building?
Yes.
Was he there?
Well,
Yes. We went and renewed. Yeah.
We went by that building more than once.
We went by
the more than once.
Yeah. We went for the new building and the old building.
Yes.
We went when Stuart Young was very proud. When Stuart Young was very proud to renew the lease on Forest Building. Was he there? But no, it's Kamala who do it. It's Kamala. Kamala build the Arima Hospital, right? Kamala do this. Now, you pick sides out of nonsense. You fighting for a school for the Mahasabha. The Mahasabha never fight for the school because I am absolutely sure. If Sat Barrage had asked Kamala to move that school from there, we don't even know if because Andy. Yesterday, I get to find out, it was confirmed to me, that Kamala and them built 106 schools, and there were 65 schools as work in progress, as in construction. Yesterday, I get to find out that. Right? We don't know if that was one of the schools there. But you come here this morning, oh, Kamala didn't build the school, and it's a crime scene, and I did not. Are you the Mahasabha? The Mahasabha ain't cussing the woman for the school, but you can better cuss Kamala. That she mad and she head. Look what Rowley doing you. And you ain't had nothing to say about Rowley. But every morning, you're beating that drum about Kamala. Kamala build a hospital in Arima. Kamala build one in Point. Kamala build police station here, there, and everywhere. You ever ask yourself if those were because if I'm not mistaken, Andy, in Eric Williams' last budget, they had budgeted for those hospitals. Why should she build it? Look at how our population is growing, right? Or she couldn't build one in Chaguanas. You ever thought that Chaguanas use Mount Hope? I am absolutely sure if you call somebody from Chaguanas, I'm not from Chaguanas, and I can't talk about thing. But my understanding always was they would use the Coover Children's Hospital. That's why she built that there central, right? They have the Mount Hope Hospital, and I am absolutely sure there's some health center
They
there.
have the mini hospital.
Doubles.
They have it have a small hospital. Well, it have a hospital in Shogunas, really, you know. It's just a base. They does things, but based on what, like, all right, like from when I got shot, it's Shogunas I went to do what I was doing Shogunas and thing first, and then based on the situation, they send the camera down Mount Up. So you're correct.
Exactly, Andy. Andy, let me tell you something here. I don't come here, despite what anybody does want to say about me, my mouth big. I am proud that my mouth big. You know why? Because I could stand and correct people. I don't stand and lie. I don't stand and lie. And I don't drink punch early in the morning to come and talk a set of crap. Andy, I know what I'm talking about. It might be a big facility like Mount Hope or whatever, but there's a hospital there. He vexed up because she ain't building one in Chaguanas, right? He vexed up because my star going to talk to the people. Why the MPs and them can't do it? But that is the job of the police. You want now the MPs and them to take over the job of the police? And up to now, I ain't hear what he doing to help anybody. I ain't hear up to now. Why is it doing that for every morning? And the point, you are bordering on lying. You are bordering on lying, sir. You are a stranger to the truth. You are very disingenuous. Oh, Kamala paid Farris $23 million for that building. Kamala went in there and found that thing and they stopped it. Because the building was not disabled friendly. And it's when PNM came back and they start back with the lease. Stop being so disingenuous and attack the people who destroying our country. Kamala's not the one that's doing it, but your hatred for Kamala is showing. It's showing, and nobody's going to take you seriously. Take what I tell. Even if you have a point, nobody's going to take you seriously. Andy, thanks a lot for listening to me, and have a good morning.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, 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 bang.
Morning, caller. Where calling from? What's your contribution in the Ground Report this morning?
Morning, Andy, Lennox, Mikey K.
Good morning.
And the director. Andy.
Go ahead, Anderson. Hey, and I'll call you after the program. Go ahead. Somebody ringing same time. Buy your phone.
Andy, you need to call a man, that partner, CC, man. And I pick no the mister. I feel about the same mister I was taking Kingsley with the OTC. It's a short Indian mister. The very class is the line of only them, but you like to get banned. Get banned. You don't want to see in no kind of meeting. That man, that night, I haven't seen them with Casey. That man was talking and I said, but who is this man? And then he like to close just randomly pushing up the teeth. Andy, don't encourage him. Don't encourage that poor really. There's a poor that deserve to go and meet them later. I wonder how to describe it. And they really define it. There's what we would call a status. Something you wanted to didn't get. I'm not never getting a good man. I'm never getting a position anyway. I know but Kamala built a pavilion in Vietnam. Kamala built a community center. Kamala give children laptops. Kamala raise like father pension. He raise all the pension. He raise your pension too. You what I'm telling you? He's a nasty man. And I don't know how Andy you this morning, this bright Thursday morning, we get a little sunlight in between. To encourage that enumerate, reiterate, that whole Dan Chappelle, that whole gang, that face makeup. Yeah. See, man, who have the chicken and the promenade, he's a nasty man. The promenade, I was here, the promenade for us. They want to stay in Brian. See, I want to meet him. It's what right, right on Sean Forest in South, until West, Forest in North. And you will learn different views, different activities and whatnot. So I want East Downtown Street, Nelson Street, Mangroves, we should pick up one area, St. Paul Street. You go to the same place. Well, my other walk all the time. We need only to come out. Put on the finger called the color, all the PNM shells up and kill one another. And come out the election and get hands on the PNM. Peace all their mind by voting them out now. The other thing to his hands. Somebody walk up and tell him somebody from the UNC, MP, had paid they killed somebody or something. I mean, look at your lines. Look at remember somebody pay 150,000 for it. Shit. I using the word hanging around here. I using the word hanging. I just try to people live right now. Can I hang? If you can remember 10,000, what I did. Yes, I can remember a lonely party person. The TCT and the from them talking in Kamanchi. And the person tell you bring one more. You find. You stop the care right. The person tell you bring one more. And you pay 150,000. And I'm happy like paying the camera. Who get 3,000, who get 2, who get 5. Why doesn't look high? You think? I'm coming inside. Come in call me. I tell me. He said, I'm going to Heinz call me. I believe in him on Monday. He said, Heinz call me. And Heinz tell me you're calling my name on the radio. So who does that? She has started to tell me. Just affiliate and associate yourself with criminal. You think if you have somebody who just shoot on your one leg, here's on George. We have somebody 10 tickets. The 5 tickets by the Ministry of National Security. Is I jump in one by the Ministry to go and collect them. And the rascal just blah 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 and tell you somebody ticket. And all them criminals get tickets for sure. Yeah, you Heinz. You pay 150,000 to remove some UNC flag. But only tell you this. China going to do Michelle in Jania. Where all the flags jump money goes to clandestine. One flag, don't buy UNC flags, banners. Drop them clandestine. Pay them with the morning. And number 265, 3840. Oh, let's say no my number. It's 265, 3840. And main flags. This time it will be a million you set to move it. A million. Like you set to move your UNC flag. It will be a million, not something you stop.
Wow, Lennox Smith. If I take any other call, let me engage you there. People are saying, well, Pitbull, why are you encouraging the man? I don't know this man. Pitbull, why you leave the man to talk?
No,
oh boy, oh boy,
well,
oh boy, oh boy.
It is clear, Andy, that he has a personal grouse. he feels that he had a bad experience, and that maybe in some instances some may say that he feels that he's more than what he really is, and simply because he felt that it was convenient at the time, the way how the sequence of events unfolded, that Kamla Prasad Bisasa should have responded to him, and as a consequence he has this deep animosity. Well, of course, I think, talking about it in the way that you did, clearly you are not trained as a psychologist, but I think that was a good ventilation, so that he recognized and at the same time exposed other elements to make a comment on the matter. I am sure that this would have been good therapy for him, and I'm sure that in future he may want to adjust his position on that, because I want to assure him that he is not alone in that scenario. And Mr. Freeport often, of course, make reference to that. We at the ground report from time to time feel that we should be responded to in a particular way and in a particular time, and therefore when that doesn't occur, we then of course take offense. So my friend, now that you know that there are others who are similarly, exposed, but we do not believe that it was because of being ignored, and that is the important thing. It usually is a genuine case of being so damn busy and so consumed with other matters that for the individual may be considered to be a priority, and so of course your concern becomes a casualty by not being responded to. It does not mean, by no means, that the political leader doesn't care about you or anything like that. It is far from it, from our experience, because when we do get an audience, we feel that, and that is conveyed to us. So, my friend, I think this one was a good piece of therapy, and I expect that you would have learned from that experience, and your responses or your commentary would be a little more, should I say, tamed, as opposed to being as brutal as you have been expressing yourself in the past. I was talking about, Andy, my temporary agreement with Mr. Porto Spain. I thought on principle he was correct when he started, and that is that political leaders and leaders in general, when things are not in their favor, or when persons may go awry as far as they are concerned, they then of course victimize them. And I think those were the essence of the discussion this morning. But again, he usually topples the can down the road, the can of milk down the road. So whilst he started off nice on principle, yes, it is not nice that because somebody didn't support you, you are going to victimize them in an organization. But then he went on, of course, to give some specific points. And I want to tell him that Gypsy sang the sinking ship. But where is he today? Let me repeat. Gypsy sang the sinking ship and caused the PNM to get the finest licking that they ever got in 1986 to the 3-3. Well, contributed to that. But where is he today? Not in the arms and embracement and among the bowels of the PNM. As chairman of the National Carnival Commission, you should be. I'm sure that you must have been contemplating that you are more qualified by way of your allegiance to the PNM, more qualified to be chairman of the National Carnival Commission. So please, when you are speaking, speak with a totality, so that you can, so that your argument could withstand scrutiny, because generically what happens is that on either side, and in any political organization, in this case, that is the focus, the leadership will not countenance persons who are going against them who are talking in a manner, particularly if they would have had some
What part
authoritative
of the world you
position.
don't see that?
No part of the world. That's right. So
what part of the world you don't see that?
So Mr. Porter Spain, while I agree with the principle commencement, I think your argument was solid in an ephemeral way, meaning temporarily. Fugacious is another term to use. But the fact of the matter is that is par for the course, and it is across the board. So to try to say somebody is disingenuous, I think if you knew what the facts are with respect to the PNM, then you are not just disingenuous. I think you would be being dishonest, right? If that is so, but of course that is par for the course across the board, and of course you would have known that PNM was engaged, especially during the course of the local government elections last year, poaching of course UNC people, whether it be a past councillor, somebody fall out, and of course and we have numerous examples of that. Once again, think things through, and then of course, especially when you come into the ground report, because we fail never to of course find the flaws in arguments that may on the surface appear to be genuine and potent and powerful, but at the end of the day, as in this case, it falls flat. It is called ephemeral or fugacious arguments.
Yes, hold 1 minute, hold 1 minute. And again, let's see the talent of the ground report. I willingly left him to talk because it's every day, especially since after the last thing he mentioned, which was Kamala is who take corporate punishment, whatever.
Yeah,
and continuously hearing him, Kamala, I say, well, boy, let me organize and use my street sense day and feel him out to see what is his pain, what is his hurt. And I think I do a fairly well a job. Very good job.
Excellent. That is not just fairly good. I think it was excellent because there were other players who came in, like Mr. Santa Cruz, and of course made certain points. But of course, it boils down really to a personal experience that he never liked, and that clouds his position as far as the political leader is concerned, and of course uses this platform to express same. I'm not saying that we will not entertain you, but I'm saying I expected that your position will be tempered.
Yeah, just
having regard to the fact that you say that you are a bona fide member of the UNC, better than me, because I'm not a member of the UNC, and I will dare not make such a assertion, even though I will have had a similar experience.
All right, go ahead, caller.
Morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Morning to Andy Williams, the Pitbull. What I would like to say on behalf of that guy, since I have listened to the program, he always talk and mention a lot of things about Kamala and always this gardener. I believe he's a macular man. And this is what I have to tell this guy. Afraid pussy bite me. I buy a bottle of whiskey. I shove it in the pussy. Afraid pussy bite me. That man look like he just sit down and piss.
Only in Trinidad you'll get this. Only in Trinidad. I'll have to make a departure by around 8 o'clock because I have a court issue that I have to address this morning. So you would forgive me for my having to depart when the television aspect of the program is to be initiated. Yes.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
Oh, boy, the word that I forget to use that I use on my brother there is reverse psychology. That's what I use on him there. Just want to feel him out. And now I went and asked him. I said, well,
it was excellent. It was an excellent.
Where's somebody telling you? He said, me is about none.
Psychology, it was a piece of therapy for him because he was glad at one stage. He was saying, I'm glad that you mentioned that you asked that question, and then of course he unveiled all of the experiences that he would have had that pissed him off, to use a local parlance expression. Yeah.
Sometimes we and always try to get in contact with the Honorable Kamala Fasad, the sister partner. We don't get through all that, and we can't afraid. Right, we.
Only a Trinidadian will come up with that. And that's what makes me so, attached and committed to every day, of the week.
Just
Will
laugh at the program,
we come and we deliver to the people because
I
it
feel this
has
program
all
has
the
you and
mix,
I
all the moods.
and anywhere we live it long. I feel in this too because somehow like Port of Spain. In my book, he's entertainment,
He's comic relief, but this morning he started off nicely. But at the end of the day, he kicked the can down the road as usual because he opened up himself for all kind of licks. I mean, I'm tired beat him up. I don't know why he continues, but sometimes he just goes silent. I don't hear him talk again about George Street again because you realize that that is a flawed argument and it has now become what is called hackneyed, right? Overused, and therefore there is no need for that because he will continue to make himself look like a fool.
2 minutes, right?
But well done, Mr. Porter Spain. Good try.
We go get this gentleman to get you 2 minutes call with Kamala, man. But we don't know if
we'll assist you with that. If
lying.
will solve the problem on a permanent basis. We'll attempt to get that call so that you could get the response that you were looking for. All you wanted was a response and a 2 words, and that would have solved the problem. He would have not calling here as regular. I suppose because of that he's calling in as regular as he does. So we would have lost that opportunity. So from that perspective, is a blessing in disguise.
You gotta get 2 minutes. Kamala. We'll call that man. Where is interpret everybody. His number. Just want to get back his name. I'm gonna call him there. I'm gonna make a call back to this man there.
I never committed that name to memory, but of course I know of him. This is him.
Yeah. Let me make a call. Let me make a call. Hi. I'm Kamala. Hey, you gotta call back. You wanna talk to Kamala? I'll get Kamala. Call back, right? I'm going to get Kamala to talk to, man. And all you have to do is just get your 2 minutes and done there. Let me organize and move forward and concentrate on the bigger picture. The bigger picture is the P&M. The destruction is the P&M. The filth is the P&M. The danger is the P&M. The crisis is the P&M. The atomic bomb, nuclear bomb is the P&M. The end of the world is the P&M.
You see, and the clouding of his presentation caused him now, because he is so imbued and so saturated and so pregnant with that experience that he would have had, that his facts sometimes are skewed. Like of course the arrangement with number 1 and 3 Alexandria Street, for example. I mean, it was fundamentally he was correct, but in terms of the nuances and the time frame for the contract and when it was done and why the UNC could not have extricated itself from that arrangement, that part of it he was unaware. Of course, Mr. Santa Cruz came in with an excellent, of course, intervention to sort of settle all of that. Yeah.
The other than people saying ban this, ban that, do this, do that, the other and all them kind of thing, man.
Morning,
oh boy. And then not only that, I would never feel good to come on this program in the morning to do a show. If it is, I can get some clowns like some of them they to call in where I can get a little laugh. Because really and truly, the way the country being governed by this PNM dirty government, you can't get a laugh. All you get is who dead yesterday, who dead today, and who gonna dead tomorrow. And shockingly, you'll get people like this coming in and giving you a really and truly in amazement. Whoa! Just get a laugh.
I call it comic relief. That's a term I ascribed to Mr. Porter Spain. But I think this morning he tried his best to be,
we have a caller here.
But unfortunately, he kicked the can down the road of milk. Yes, good morning.
On and ground report.
Good morning.
Yes, I agree that the caller amusing. But he has been a member, he claims to be a member for so many years. With that attitude, you really think anybody in the right mind will call him back? He has no opportunity to make. He is what he or she is what they are. I don't know what they are. I agree with the caller that he probably afraid something bite him. But anyhow, it is clear that he wouldn't get a return call from a political deadbeat like Vasan Bharat wouldn't call he back. I to tell you how bad he is.
All right, I hear
He
you.
really. Yeah, that's the kind of people you don't want around you. And to add insult to injury, he can't be a Hindu. Hindu people are very respectful worldwide. And not only that, they respect women more than they respect everything else. They believe in the creation and they believe that women play a vital role in humanity and everything else. So he can't be a fooling nobody with his shenanigans and his stupid talk that he called this one and he called that one. The thing about it is that we have people like them, unfortunately, and he would not be aware of what would have taken place during the 2010 period because you would have had to read, and clearly he's incapable of reading. It didn't have social media and Rumshop Talk to enlighten you as he probably is getting his information from. So that's about it. What I wanted to ask you about is the Kroll report. Did you happen to look at it?
That's with respect to the. Is that the Petrotrin matter?
Yes, the fake. That is the proof that it was in fact a cover-up.
Oh, all right, okay. I just wanted for you to guide me that I'm on the right path. Yes, so it was connected to Petrotrin. Yes. I did have not a total read, but certainly I'm familiar with the some of the contents, the essential aspects of it. That clearly, none of the reports, in fact, three of them, suggest the dismantling of Petrotrin in the way that the government did. And therefore, of course, our conclusion here on the ground report is that it was the fake oil matter that engendered that very despicable and criminal behavior, a conspiracy really to act beyond the interests of the people of Trinidad and Tobago by the entire cabinet, and therefore we are calling on them criminally to be liable when the time comes. Yeah.
Lennox, based on this report, this isn't a report which will advise on the way forward for Petrotrin. You know, this report is specific to the fact that it was in fact a fake oil. There was no possibility, no way possible for that oil to have been delivered through this existing infrastructure in the amounts that they claim. It was impossible.
No, you're right, and that is why Gary Griffith did not make that case a cold case. But of course, Rowley and they had a different agenda to try to, in a slipshod way, get rid of Gary Griffith and therefore undermine the investigative process. Go ahead.
Well, go ahead. Just go into it a little bit because you're playing with my mind right now, and a lot of people maybe want to just go in a little bit. Go ahead.
As this matter deals with public funds, our money, your money, my money, the people's money, then a civil suit against that company who made that claim in terms of recovering that money on our behalf, I think it's possible based on the credibility of that report. Because while the government may not have any interest in pursuing the matter for selfish reasons, that money that was stolen from us, the people, remains a problem. It's an offense. It's a criminal offense. And I feel greatly that our legal system should look into that matter from a civil perspective and let us recover what we can. I don't know what your views are on that, Mr. Smith, but I hope that something could be looked at in that direction.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you there, sir?
Yeah. I'm here. I was waiting for your conclusion before I make a response. Are you finished?
Yes, I'm finished.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, to be short, to be compendious as possible, Remember, there was an arbitration, whether we like it or not, whether it was orchestrated or not, whether Dr. Rowley put his personal lawyer as the chairman of those legacy issues, including, of course, that particular issue, and the fact that he could have, and you can't put it beyond him, and I don't think he will have a good case if I say that he was placed there to sanitize and to, of course, get rid of documents and etc. in order to have a particular outcome, the outcome, of course, that we have seen. And therefore, in such circumstance, the criminal part of it, I think, is still a viable course of action, because it was an attempt to defraud the state. So that is clear with respect to the excess oil that never was and cannot be. In terms of the arbitration and the civil action, it will be difficult to pursue that, because the arbitration recognized that there was in fact oil with the water oil, let me put it that way, with the fake oil, and therefore he might have gotten paid for the oil that was in fact delivered. But of course, that requires examination, and if that is not so, then of course, yes, there is a civil matter that could be pursued by the incoming government to recoup funds that may have excessively been granted to a vigilant, who of course incidentally got back not only contracts but got the monies that got compensated as well, claiming certain oils that were in fact delivered. So that's where it is, and that is the options that any future government will now have.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh boy. So Trinidad and Tobago, again, the lines are open. Don't forget to send your voice notes. I'll be playing some voice notes in a while. But we are taking calls at this point in time. What's on your front burner? I must say, time check. It's approximately 1 minute to the hour of 8 o'clock. So joining us in exactly 1 minute with the viewers on Gael the Caribbean.
Yes.
So let me say,
Mikey
good morning.
indicated that he'll be coming in, because I will be going out when that is triggered. So I'll be here for a very short time into that aspect of the program this morning.
Nice.
Yes.
But welcome to the people that are viewing us on Gael the Caribbean. Welcome again. And next time to the Ground Report program. I'm yours truly, the Pitbull of Radio. And there's Lennox Smith, better known as a big word man. Most likely Michael Kerr, Mikey K, going to be joining us in a little bit. What's your situation within your country? Are you viewing us right here in Trinidad and Tobago? Or in Jamaica, Guyana, where? Are you all facing the same cries or problems when it comes to the politicians? When it comes to corruption? When it comes to deliverables to you, the people of the various states or various countries? The lines are open.
I love to hear the people from Jamaica.
225-6644, 225-6644, or 235-5120, 235-5120, or give us a WhatsApp call at 366-3053, 366-3053. Welcome to the Ground Report. Morning, caller.
Andy, good morning. God bless to you, Mikey, and Lennox, and everybody.
Good morning.
Yes.
A busy day this morning, but I have to call in. I heard a chat this morning, call it here. I really couldn't thank Kamala. He said he's a UNC. Give me a break, boy. What kind of UNC is? But the body say you're drinking all the juice every day? You come and say things of Kamala. I told Kamala, say he's a UNC, and Kamala this and Kamala that, and how Jack Warner, I said, put a hospital up in Sabona, and she said, no. Listen to me, jackass, excuse my language this morning, although jackass is a very hard-working animal. You coming only now to say things of Kamala here. But all the time it says a UNC for so long, since Kanye days. Man, look, give me a break. I'm smarter than you. I know where you're coming from. Right? If it's the job be working on you, it ain't working on me. Right? And I want to tell you, Andy, please, when you see them jackass come to talk and bray on the phone here, cut them off, because when you go on the PNM station and to me time you say anything bad about PNM, you have to say one word, they're cutting you off. Okay, Andy? So you have a blessed day and thank you very much.
All right. Oh boy.
He has triggered the fury, and hell has no greater fury than a woman scorned. Well, that is it for you there.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Not
go
only
on.
that, while we have to also study our healthcare system in a mess. It have many, many other topics that you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Caribbean, can talk about. All of you that are viewing us on Real Media TT on Facebook, Real Media TT on YouTube, Corridor Transformation on YouTube, on Facebook, Love Laventty, on the Workers' Right platform. We have so many other topics. Like, for instance, the school bullying, home invasions. People need to get their various surgeries or diagnosis for their ailment in order to be able to deal with it. Agriculture, people say when rain falling, when it are no rain, pressure, no water. I bounced up a couple of them yesterday in the thing. And when rain falling, it's too much water. So them dead, they say they doom all how. No rain, when it's dry season, pressure they can't make in the agriculture. And when it's rainy season, too much water. Oh my God, oh my God.
And if,
So I feel that.
and if you ask the minister, Gonzalez, or even the minister of works, they will tell you that rain only falling except by the reservoir. So in the abundance of all this water, the population of Trinidad and Tobago is still in a state of thirst. I mean, that is what you have in Trinidad and Tobago. But I was making the point that I would have loved to hear somebody from Jamaica
We must
or
warn the
Guyana.
people of Trinidad and Tobago from now that if it is from now, Marvin Gonzalez is saying, or if it is the Ministry of Utilities is saying that the reservoir is of an all-time low, and it is in rainy season at this point in time. What will be going on when the dry season come in next year, please God, boy? What will be our situation, boy?
And mind you, with this being the Prime Minister conference, he was boasting that, of course, the Canadians, well, he got the technology from the Canadians and all of these independent wells that he will be, of course, constructed. And then, of course, the two desalination plant, one in Trinidad, I think is Moruga, somewhere there, and one in Tobago. All of that was, of course, regaled to us, and then at the end of the day, everything falls flat. He then tells you, listen, the rain falling only in Port of Spain and so on, and flooding out, of course, South Key, and it's not falling close to the reservoirs so that the reservoirs could get their fill in order to supply that very important commodity of life to Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, if you, this couldn't be a script, as Mikey would say, from Hollywood. They couldn't come up with that. These guys have become poopish statement and attitude that, of course, could bellow that to the public, demonstrating the kind of characters that they are pile of jokers.
A pile of jokers. But I saw Mikey K was trying to get in. So, but meanwhile, we will play a little voice
I really appreciate that. Yes. As I say now, the Jamaican community, I know that wholeness is some problems over there. We would love to hear from you, because it reminds me of a similar situation here in Trinidad, where, of course, the Integrity Commission over there have been called by the public, and the public is in uproar that he did not disclose certain investments that he would have made in his declarations. And of course, in the case of Guyana, well, we want to know, what do you expect next? I understand that things are looking very good there. Natural gas now, I think you are now going to be getting your first gas run electricity power plant. We want to know what are some of the developments, and of course in the smaller islands, whether it's Grenada, St. Vincent, Dominica, St. Lucia, and all of the others in between. We want to know, what is happening as far as your experiences are concerned and how the government is managing your affairs, so we can make some comparison, learn from each other, and in the process make the Caribbean as a region a better place. We are doing our best, of course, microscopically in Trinidad, but I'm sure that you would have had your own issues as well.
In Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes,
Don't leave out Tobago at all.
yes, and
It's
Trinidad
Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one country with two distinct names.
Nice. Mikey.
The only country of that kind in the world, you know, Andy. One country with two distinct names. But no, where's this Trinidad and Tobago? That's one country. Yes, it is. It's only we could come up with something like that. We have them? Voicemails?
Are we on there, Lennox?
Yes, I am hearing you. Can't say the same as far as Andy is concerned. Are you hearing me? But obviously you're hearing me, I suppose.
Yes, okay. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
So I'm in a quandary here as to whether to make a comment or not. I don't know if it might be isolated to him and he's still on. Let me just put on my monitor and see and understand what is happening. No, I'm not hearing anything on my monitor. You normally will monitor the real media TT to get to see whether or not to monitor, of course, any onward developments. I'm not getting him. I'm not hearing him on YouTube. Specifically on the real media TT. See, coming up there is something of a.
Go ahead.
Good.
Oh boy.
So we had a little lapse earlier, Andy?
Yeah, earlier there we had a shortage in current. But go ahead.
Okay. So our apology, people. There was a break in transmission a moment ago, but I think that has been rectified. Morning, Mikey.
Yes. All right. Yeah. Apparently, yes. Some kind of strange weather there. Yes. Good morning. I don't know if you're hearing me, to be honest.
I hear you. And Andy will confirm if we are all over the world at this time. Okay.
All right. Yes, but I know for sure we are on Guile TV live. So let me say good morning to my brother Andy Pitbull Williams. Good morning to you, Lennox Smith, and good morning to our technical director. Yeah, so we are on. So good morning to the Guile family. Good morning to our CARICOM brothers and sisters that are locked on. We can't forget the Sister Isle Tobago, and to wherever you are, whether in North America, Europe, wherever you are, your time, of course, in neck of the woods, wherever you are, your time. Good day, good morning. Those of you who came through Hurricane Milton in Florida, I hope that you're safe and things are not badly off as some areas that were hit.
So the update on that was update get last bad.
Well, some areas some areas, it became a category 3, of course, when it hit land. Some areas, well, heavy rains, tornadoes, quite a bit of twisters were affecting different areas. But some areas, of course, were not badly hit or not hit at all, as the case may be. So, again, with these things, you can only predict, but you prepare. You prepare for the worst and you expect the best as far as the outcome with no lives lost, and the case may be. So, again, those of you who are listening to us, locked on, of course, out there, we hope that you are safe and everything is well with you and your family. So, boy, I tell you, so much, so much, so much.
Yeah, well, a lot of developments are taking place. A lot. Domestically, of course, my wife, we sympathize with the um, residents of Florida. Let's hope that things didn't be as bad as you maybe had prepared for or anticipate. And this is our fervent prayer. But certainly domestically, we have the budget debates going on. We are hearing about panties and, of course, clogged areas. And then we are hearing, of course, how good the economy is performing compared to to pre-COVID, I should say. But, of course, being very, very deliberate and convenient because, of course, if you go to pre COVID, you will see that what they are saying today is a joke compared to how the economy was operating, particularly, of course, closer to 2015, when, of course, Kamala Persad-Bissessar administration had the government between 2010 and 2015, and when one looks at the accomplishment of this administration by about 2016, why they were crying baby and, of course, crying gloom and doom. By 2017, they were talking about the economy turnaround, and that was as a consequence of the investment made by Kamala Persad-Bissessar and they during their tenure in about 2013, when, of course, they invested more in, of course, upstream exploitation of the oil-bearing domain of Trinidad and Tobago, whether it's deep sea or on land. And that, of course, created the nonsensical and boastful comment by the Minister of Finance that the economy has turned around. And then in the following year, I think 2018 or 19, he then says, of course, well, listen, we have done it our way. And of course, quoting Frank Sinatra. But by 2020, everything fall down all entirely.
Yes,
yeah, and then, of course, after that period expired, they then, of course, make excuses after excuses that it was because of COVID why things are so bad. So even potholes was to put on hold because, of course, they were saving Trinidad and Tobago from deaths, but we ended up getting over 5,000 deaths as a consequence of a plan that they said was parallel. They had a parallel health system, and it was the best, according to them, in the world. And it turned out, of course, to be one of the worst responses to COVID in the world. So that is what we have.
Nice.
That is now debated.
That's quite a lot. Yes. While you come with the thing there, don't forget Trinidad and Tobago, the lines are open. For those of you that are viewing us in Guyana, the Caribbean, the lines are open. The numbers to call 225-6644, 225-6644, or 235-6120, 235-61, in fact, 239-5120. Or give us a WhatsApp call. We'll send a WhatsApp voice so that 366-3053.
Gentlemen, I'll have to make my exit momentarily. I have an urgent matter that I have to attend. So
no problem.
Yes.
Okay.
But go ahead, Mikey.
Lennox, quite a mouthful there. I mean, when you look at the entire system and the fact that it has failed us as citizens in this country, what is the next step? I really and truly wanted to get to the meat of the budget debate. But here you have people talking about who was paid as hitmen and all these other statements. I mean, yeah, plenty and all that. I mean, it's such a disservice to the people of this country.
You find
People are
like
looking.
the meat. You find like we ain't got no
Well,
meat.
well, 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 well I think really and truly, we want to know, can you do the job moving forward? And it's quite clear that for the last almost 10 years, you haven't shown that. You've shown that the incompetence, unbridled corruption, and the list goes on. Now we're talking, we have to look at $10 million for the EBC. I'm going to keep saying this. And, people might say, listen, I'm harping on this point, but I mean, our freedom, our civil liberties, our democracy, our rights to live better is worth more than $10 million. And are we going to wait to get in a situation where we're going to say on that day we saw some irregularities in San Fernando West, or we saw it in Tunapuna, or we noticed they did something that went against the policies and the rules of the election, and all of that, to say, listen, what we should have done, what we had to keep a focus on, because we can't just idly sit by and be observers of injustice, especially when it's being meted out to us. We didn't sign on for this. I mean, really and truly, whether you voted for it or not, there's no representation there for all the citizens in this country. A selected few who's going to benefit from these campaign slush funds to go and fix a school, to go and patch a hole in the road. Yeah, they go get a little cacada and they sell us out for the pixie dust because they really and truly don't care. That's how they condition. That's how the PNM have them programmed. But what about the rest of us who actually want to live better here? Who want to raise our children? Who want to be around to see our children walk down the aisle? Who wants to be around to be with our grandchildren? And those of us who have grandchildren will want to make sure that, before we close our eyes, that they are going to have to involved in something productive. They're not going to be bullied, and the chances of them dying or being depressed or having low self-esteem. And I mean, so, I mean, you look at all of that, and then you see, what do we do? What do we do?
Well, of course,
Low self-esteem does lead to suicide. Wow.
Well, yeah, because you feel a sense of, that lack of worth, that sense of belonging is not there, that sense of purpose. I mean, I think many citizens are dealing with that now on a daily basis. I mean, you have men who are, and I keep saying it, emasculated. Sometimes all 9, 10 o'clock at night, if you go through a Remo or Tunapuna, you're seeing young people. It appears whether they're coming from work, but look at the hour, because listen, some of them really don't want to go home. It could be an abusive environment. You have fellas who, what going on to do? Face my two hungry children, and a wife who go be asking me what going on, and Rowley has taken everything, your backbone, your spine, your sense of being, your responsibility, the role as a father. He's taken away all of that. And we could come here and talk about that every single day. We could listen to the budget debate, but how much of it is going to change? How many of these things are going to be dealt with as far as bread and butter issues? And that's where things are being lost. Lennox said it. I mean, even pre-COVID, this economy wasn't being managed properly. I mean, nobody had that. We still don't have consumer confidence. Who go and Lego at $10 or $20, not knowing how it's going to come back to you, how it's going to benefit you twofold? You don't know. It's just not happening. The dollar ain't even circulating. So that's why the high end was confident to say, listen, we really don't want it because the people ain't want to use it. So why the hell we should come and collect it for? So, I mean, again, and what are we getting? You have a government that is taking, it's vacuuming your savings, vacuuming your pocket, vacuuming your purse and your wallet, taking every single thing. And do we ever ask the question, what are we getting in return? What are we getting in value? What are we really receiving? When are we going to say, Rowley, come out of my pocket, stay out of my bank account, stay out of my business, Rowley? And that can only happen when you stand up and say, it's time for you to run your own business. It's your business. You can't go around beating your chest saying, you see me? I that man had to look fit when the day come because no government ain't going to give me. And how you going to look fit? How you going to look fit when it's the government policies that have to help with employment? It's the government policies that have to help with the most vulnerable. It's the government policies that have to help with the students and the future of this country. You can't omit that from the equation. The government has a role, a purpose, a responsibility. You can act as ignorant as you want and talk, but you have to look fit regardless of what. But you can't look fit when there's nothing there to be found. Everything is gone. And again, we talk about it. We talk about it. Hey, Mikey, hold on, Mikey, don't think. Hold on, hold on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I go hold on. Like that little piece of thing that Rose was floating on in the Titanic. I go hold on because Jack done fall up. He dead. He at the bottom of the ocean. So here it is. We go hold on as best as we can. But $10 million for the EBC. You could run Rohan how much you want. You should have run Rohan from day one. The same Rohan you're running now is the same Rohan you was hooking up. You could chase this one. You could talk about that one. You could say Heinz is this. You could say Scotland is a caveman. But it doesn't remove $10 million that one has to assume is to steal the election. That in itself is not changing. Nobody is talking about that. Rowley is not being held accountable. Nobody is pushing a mic or a camera in his face and say, whoa, is that $10 million to steal the election? Let get vexed. Let buff you up. So what? Your custom. By now, these journalists should be immune to that. So you can't take almost 10 years he buffing you. Let him buff you. We want to hear him cuss. We want to see what gets under his skin. $10 million for the EBC. And what is that for? Who destroyed the integrity and the trust of the EBC? Wasn't Kamala. It wasn't Manning. It was Rowley. On whose watch that they decided to say, listen, let me try and see how best we could extend it by an hour so them fellas could do the little skimmy-dimmy in the back there. On whose watch that they intervened when it was 6-6 in Tobago? On whose watch they said they had no money to bring in observers? Rowley destroyed the integrity and the trust. And if he believes and so confident that it is so good, why do you need to bring in electronic devices to do it? Why you need to bring in computer software? You know it's good. You say it's up, it's transparent, it's accountable. So we need $10 million for.
Yeah, Mikey,
I
mean, you have spoken volumes there, my friend, and that is why, of course, we took the liberty to, of course, communicate with the Elections and Boundaries Commission. Let me just read it's just a simple paragraph to give people an idea as to where we are going and where you should be going as well, because you have a responsibility as well to monitor and to laser focus on these developments, because it will determine the kind of quality of life and standard of living. In other words, we must live better, we must pursue quality of life that is much better than what Rowley and they has meted out, because we know it can be. And of course, it says as follows to the chairman of the Election and Boundaries Commission, request for information. Yes, this is under the Freedom of Information Act, 1998, Section 13, and it says read circumstances and or information with supporting documentation that led to the decision to engage, deploy, and or otherwise contract the private company Grand Bay Limited to dispose of, for recycling purposes, in brackets of course, electoral paper-based material documents following the 2020 general elections. Yes, and just to give you a background, people, Grand Bay is the company in the first budget of this government in 2016, or the second budget, it could be that they allocated $5 million just for cash flow purposes and to save, I think, 14 or something so jobs. Of course, they didn't do that for ArcelorMittal, who had a similar issue, and of course that was the iron producing company at Point Research. They didn't do that for any other person. And bam, after the 2020 general election, the same firm, this toilet paper firm, was deployed soon after the 2020 elections for recycling materials, ballot papers, etc., some of which would have come from the 2020 general election. We need to know, and of course the information goes down to find out when the decision was made, why the decision was made, how come they didn't know that that company was given that $5 million by the government, and whether or not the question of conflict of interest might have arisen, and of course what in fact happened to to the documentation, and if, of course, the matters pertaining to the 2020 general elections was in fact part and parcel of all of that. And in pursuit of that, just to wind up, we're not going to stop there because, of course, I looked for, of course, institutions that well, the EBC will be associated with, and of course, I came up with the European Union. You have, of course, the European Union Parliament. They see about, of course, monitoring elections all over the globe. Parliamentary Assembly of Council of Europe. You have the OAS. You have the OSCE, Parliamentary Assembly. You have the Organization of American States. Yes. You have the Carter Center. You have the Commonwealth Secretariat. You have the National Democratic Institute. You have, of course, the Electoral Institute for Sustainable Democracy in Africa, International Republican Institute. All of these. After, of course, the EBC has 30 days in which to respond, and depending on the response, we either go further by, of course, engaging the ombudsman and or a judicial review, or if not, well, of course, these documents will be forwarded to these institutions, having regard to the other aspects, such as, of course, the court declaring that the EBC was wrong.
That's a good that's a good process, Lennox Smith. I want to be honest with you. Really, very, very diplomatic, very democratic. Hands off to you. But let me tell you something. Words are useless when action is needed. It's all good and well. And a lot of these things are going to be looked at after the fact. We can't risk it. This is the all and end all of elections. Let's not play games. We need to stop playing games here. Everybody you talk to, whether it be UNC, PNM, all who shushing in a corner, we can't take the next 5 years of this, We can't take the next 5 years. In 5 years' time, we can't recognize this place, I trying to see, I have a cousin living out in Queens, New York. We trying to see what we could do. I have a cousin out there living, well, I hear El Salvador real nice now. They fix up the whole crime thing. It are people Googling options and looking to see if it is they could fit into other societies because they're ready to pack up and go. Once things don't work out, where our democracy is restored, where good governance is once again in place, people looking to go, don't let me play games. Whether it be Carter Center, this center, we had enough center. We need to get to the center of the issue here. And the center of the issue is the EBC. And the Stakeholders United movement cannot do it alone. I am quite certain that when we come here and talk about we want to live better, it is not just our desire and our dream and our vision that we have hitched onto the United National Congress to make that change. All who waiting to go and put back on this suit, take the canfer ball out it, put on tie, do whatever it is do, stroke your ego. None of that can become a reality if you don't join us when we go to the EBC. All of you who are crying out for those who are being bullied, those who are the most vulnerable and suffering, cerebral palsy, all of these things that you're crying out for, that you have no problem getting together and light a candle and what have you. None of those things are going to change unless you join us when we go to the EBC. All of you who say that Paula Gopi-Schoon selling a dream about the prices of food going down, and the government was able to sustain it over the years where people could afford things, and none of that is truth. And if you want to hear the truth, the only way you can get it is join us when we go to the EBC. We can't be talking after the fact over and over again that when the dust settled, I saw this in San Fernando West, and I see a move out there in Maruga Tableland, and I see they try a thing in Chaguanas East. I think that is why it didn't work out. And I see they come and do something in Grandy, and that is why it didn't work out. That kind of talk can't save us after the fact, That the kind of talk you had to be saying when you're done ready to get your flight, board your flight, and say, hey, I had to leave the land of my birth because this thing ain't working out. We could have do this, we should have do this, all of that is after the fact. All of that is either we head into the root of the issue, which is the EBC, or we are about to do nothing. I rest my case.
You couldn't say anything better. Lennox, just check your thing there. People send a message saying they're getting a feedback from your side also. So
yeah, also to Andy, if you want, you could open up the lines. I know there are folks who maybe trying to get in on the
Well, I am out, gentlemen, and
all right,
we'll
all right.
later, yes.
Morning, caller.
Good morning to you, Andy. And Mr. Good morning to you, Matty K.
Morning, brother.
How you feel about our here thing? I I want to say, Mikey K, your background looking very, very, very nice. It's looking very nice, and I like how you're doing it. Thing and you observe Smith is doing this thing on the corridor, and I know Andy is going around making videos on Media TV. Is pumping. Let me say good morning to the 400 and something viewers on listeners on the YouTube. I want to say a special, on the YouTube, yeah. I want to say a special good morning to a East Indian family in Quebec. A very good family. I mean, my mechanic introduced me to them, and time they see me, they say, "It's Kingsley and Andy, you offer the radio," and they go on and tell me, "Say good morning to Papi. I know he might be in the garage right now listening. He and his sons and them, and say good morning to all of them if they are. I hope they are listening because they listen to every morning, but sometimes you have to run out.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but they are locked on YouTube. That means one of your supporters, one of the ground report supporters, one of my supporters, and they are we family. So I must say good morning to them because every time I come up here, I see them and they always talk about the ground report. Good. So I want to say good morning to them. And wow, let me say what a last debate in the parliament with the opposition and the government. We know it always a fight, a banter, always a heated argument, and I know I must put Mudula again as a good debater, and I must this term here I must put Michelle Benjamin involved. I want to tell Michelle Benjamin, Kamala Prasad Bisasa must be proud of you because it's the most time I see all the MPs of the PNM side, ministers, high ranking ministers rise up and try to destroy you and try to make you stop speak. But you know what I mean? You hold because you speak on grassroots level. They didn't go there to try to use interact words. You go and talk how the people feeling out there. And that is how the people feeling out there when we hear Michelle Benjamin talk. So I want to thank Michelle Benjamin for her contribution in Parliament. Also Dr. Mudila. I know the leader of the opposition always lead in front of her policies and so much of things she have for this country. But you know so much of things she have for this country. And again, the people do not want to learn. So I want to say this after all, because they know that you must be strong and brave and say what you have to say. I think that we need to be more focused on the issue because this election here, we didn't vote on policy. People will be voting on who they like. It's not that Rowdy goes on petition and he send them workers. People voting today who they like. You know, you watch football around the world and it have many people support Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. And you know, see Messi for a man, foul. And you say no. You know why you say no? Because you support him and you love Messi. Is a fanatic of Messi. So you know, see the camera show Messi. You're vexed with the referee for giving Messi a red card because you love Messi so bad that you believe that you see Messi give the money foul, but they still vexed. So people is not going to vote in this country. What I seen on issues, they're not going to vote on policy. They're going to vote on who they like and who they feel could run the country. Race. So it's sad, and the thing right now, Andy and Mikey K and others, we are shambling in Parliament because we are for. It's going to support the bills and them. It's going to give PNM this boost to go into the election by Russian Parry and Rodney Charles and Dinesh. All of them is going to support many bills, and PNM is going to rush bills, and they are going to rush bills because they know that they have the support of the split UNC team in the Parliament. So it's a fight. It's a fight, and I want to tell the UNC we have to fight because I believe that Dr. Rowley is not going to bring observers because he's been saying for the last years that since 1956, every election take place in this country was fair. Since 1956, every election take place in this country was fair. I do not believe that Dr. Rowley is going to bring election observers. We have to fight. We have to fight and fight and fight. But if we fight, we have to fight dirty. We have to call in the troops. We cannot continue like this. I want to. When I estimate, it's Mikey K and Lennox Smith and Andy and them who will not be battle more than many UNC high RFK. There's no doubt about it. That is the facts. Many activist callers who calling in is who holding up the flag and trying to fight for something and trying to say, hey, we fighting. But when we have MPs going in parliament, UNC MPs going in parliament and making mistake, having a tongue twisting in the mouth. When we have MPs coming out the box and doing this and doing this, remember this ever gone. The Africans watching is the Africans will make the UNC win the election. There's no doubt about it. The history show that in 2010, when the East-West corridor, the PM couldn't keep the election because the majority of people in this country come out and vote. And is this what we want? The only way we could win this election, we have to call all the massive. We had to get more than 200,000. We had to get about 600,000 people on this side to beat the PNM so that they cannot thief the so much apart ballot because the PNM plan is to thief the election. That was my survey coming up. Every time I turn and I listen to the PNM, what I'm getting from the PNM is looking to thief the 25 election. And as I close, I want to tell you, see this. Budget gone. Well, they say after the budget, Dr. Roy is going to call the election. I ask you, after a week now, the budget call and in parliament, will you still believe that Dr. Roy is going to call the election? I say no. Dr. Roy is not going to call the election at all. Not this year. Not this year. Not this year at all. I want to tell the opposition again, voting for that bill will solve nothing. We must say no to that bill. We must never abstain or support that budget. We must say no right out. We do not accept that budget. We're not ready. We cannot go in parliament and abstain and support that budget. That budget is against the people. We must vote no right out because we vote no, it will still pass. It will still pass. The government do not need our approval to pass no budget. I am asking the leader, I'm asking the chief whip, do not make me cuss. Only do not support that bill. Vote against that bill. You see that budget? Vote against it. Question them. Let the ministers comes, all ministers come in, we ask them question, we ask them what are they spending money from, expose them, no problem with that. Expose them, ask them questions, ask the minister works, the minister health, because that is what is going to go on in the next few days again. But when it's time to vote for that bill, I am begging on my knees. Let the people see how you're strong. Let these people see how you're playing games. Stand up for like Michelle Benjamin and tell them put that budget in Dr. Rowdy's leg. We do not want it, you know. I go on.
Thank you very Hey, don't after the program, I'll call you. I have something for you, Kingsley. I'll call you after the program. Oh boy, I'll call you after the program. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah, and don't forget tomorrow is our Patriot lunch. Those of you who are still, I mean, there's a lot of running up and down. So sometimes, we may be in and out when dealing with these ventures, but it's still available. So again, you know the numbers that you can reach out to. For Andy Pitbull Williams, 366-3053, 366-3053. Of course, Lennox Smith, 337-6940. 337-6940 and yours truly Mikey K 494-0938 494-0938. Yeah, we have no fake oil partner, we have no shipping partner, we have no quarry partner, you understand? We have no we are no ferry partner. This is what we had to do. Bear cap in hand. Your program, the program that you will always say come like your coffee. The program that you know that whether it be Guardian, Express News, they in answering the questions, and they certainly are not going to connect the dots. Because again, we are not here to deal with the aftermath. It may be a talk show, but it is certainly not a talk shop. I want to make that clear. It cannot be when it does settle what we should have done, how we should have do it. Maybe we should have done that. That is left for critics. Critics are the ones who come on the battlefield after and tell you what you should have done. But once you are a true patriot and you are out there in the middle of this, down there in the trenches, you understand what it takes. So again, we need your help. If you can assist, please do so. If you can't, hey, so be it. But we continue the fight. And I think you know that.
Nice.
I think you know that. Who's outside?
A researcher. A pleasant good morning, my brother.
Yes, morning to everybody. Andy,
Morning, brother.
Mikey, Lennox,
Hey.
director. Watch now, boy. So Jindal is out of the deal with Venezuela. No, you see, timing is what you call everything, you know. And we must follow the timeline when it comes to this administration. We have a procurement office, right? We have a regulator in place. This man has staff. We pay them well, just as we pay the prime minister and the cabinet. But who authorizes or has authorized? We the people and do it. The prime minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Keith Christopher Rowley, and Stuart Young to be the owners of our refinery. The last time we checked, they are only 2 citizens. They are part owners, but they are not the owners, and they cannot determine the cost of our refinery single-handedly. They have to run it by us, the people. But apparently these fellas running their own show. We were told by the minister, it is in the budget statement, it is on the hands of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Let them deal with it. That they employed Scotia Capital. Up to this day, we're still trying to figure out why Scotia. Scotia is our private entity. Yes, it does hire private entities to do many things. It does hire PricewaterhouseCoopers. It does hire different auditors. It does hire different accountants. Okay, but why Scotia? Because right now, Scotia ain't cutting it. 1 minute, Scotia assessing the OWTU, the best thing since sliced bread, and the next day, OWTU, we had to run from them. Irregardless, Jindal pulled out this week of a deal with PDVSA. Now, Jindal had been checking out that in PDVSA there. In May, they were finalizing all the arrangements in the end of May because sanctions were imposed on Venezuela. So Jindal was put in place there. Now, the minister told us, and we can quote him, in February 2024, Jindal, Scotia Capital was employed to check out all the potential bidders, and here we go and tie up no Scotia, telling you here today, no. But in your corner, all you start to do up all your documents, know what all you're doing. Because that refinery, all you're trying to sell, Guaracara there, that belongs to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and freedom of information requests coming all your way. So call everybody, let's Stuart or whoever had a call, I don't know, and organize all your house, because we coming. Right. Now, the minister told us that the 3 potential bidders, the top bidders who come out on top, we are assuming they were the top 3 potential investors or candidates as applicants for being able to purchase or lease the refinery. He called out 3. The local consortium, Inca Energy, and Orlando, who we know is a complete waste of time. Right. Just like Quanten. You remember Quanten just the other day? And Aruba and all them fellas kick them out of there? Right. That same Quanten is the same kind of operation going on here. Now, Jindal, and we quoting from the Prime Minister, the only place we can get it right now is in a Newsday article. And the article is from Sunday, the 14th of July, PM, Defense Refinery talks with Jindal. That is when the block was hot. All the information coming out on Jindal. The newspapers mocking the Prime Minister, where he tell them he is unaware that Jindal was facing these corruption charges and whatever in India. But a little 10-year-old could Google it with the iPad or whatever and see everything about Jindal. But he unaware, he in a bubble. But lo and behold, in the Prime Minister's words, and we just can't find that statement on the Office of the Prime Minister website again. Where it gone? It disappeared like the 10 million. Where the money gone? Where the statement gone? We don't know. The Prime Minister hosted Jindal on June the 17th. I tell you, at the end of May, they was wrapping up things because Jindal was putting things in place to run a refining facility for oil that coming from the Petro-Sedano fields in Venezuela. I'm showing you how this whole thing that we ain't want to hear nothing about no Scotia capital. We ain't want to hear about no Orlando. These fellas cutting their own deals. And I read from the news there. Let me tell you which paragraph. 1, 2, 3, 4. A statement issued then. I love how the news they put then. Because like them looking for the statement too. By the office of the Prime Minister, I assume they have a copy of it. Said, Jindal's visit followed Rowley's trip to India in May. Are you reading what the people am right now, brother? During which he met with several business leaders and invited them to explore investment opportunities in Trinidad and Tobago. That was in May. Pause. June the 17th, Jindal reached in Trinidad and Tobago at the Diplomatic Center. I'm showing you we don't want to hear about well, since February we screening and WTU and fake wire. We don't want to know nothing about no fake wire. I could go and make a money order request for US money I have in our account. Sign off, stamp off, and when it reaches some head office branch or some intermediary branch, if they're not originating in the US, and they say, hey, we're not sending through this wire, the OWT, you can get a copy of that. Anybody so stupid with our whole email gate scandal, Fitzgerald Hines with the next email gate scandal, we fed up all you with that. We ain't want to know about no wire and no what. This is our refinery. Stop you trying to find something to find on the front page beside the pressing issues. We want to know what the 400 million going in the office of the Prime Minister coffers for. And telling me about, this under my umbrella and that. We don't want to know that. Take it out from under your umbrella. This is the election year. Millions for entertainment. But telling we, all your whole strain now, boy, 2027, we go sort all you out. Whole strain, pull we back. Play stupid and pull we back. Enough is enough. How come the Prime Minister go on to India, meet with whoever in May, come down, people appear on his doorstep weeks later in the diplomatic center, and he's still defending this man. He defend this man till August when he bought Jindal write him this letter. Poor Jindal. Jindal sit down and write him this letter. I wonder how he sent it TT Post. How he sent it for him? In the age of email and electronic communication. So at the end of the day, the point we get in, and look, Jindal jump out of Venezuela, they know. So we don't want these fellas foisting no Venezuelan companies, Venezuelan affiliated companies, Maduro. We don't want it. And these fellas single-handedly deciding who them want to run we refinery. That is ours. Enough is enough. And don't forget, ask the tax. We not pay nothing. Have a nice day.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Not paying nothing. Go ahead.
Ask the tax, they say, man. Oh boy, oh boy. You didn't realize that ask the tax like you just go on there, like people make up their mind to go pay that tax now and done that. Cause I can't understand. Some like the tax. I ain't understand. People in morning caller.
Yeah, for real, huh?
Pleasant good morning.
Morning.
Morning, and Brong. Go ahead, darling.
And by extension, our guile clarification and truth. For the first gentleman who called about the UNC internal elections. Those elections were not due. But there was only 5 UNC members calling for that election, not due. When the political leader announced the date, the starting won by a landslide. Second, next point. To the gentleman who always calling to speak our leader. He did not get 5 minutes of talking time and claimed to be a UNC. So, there were so many opportunities to meet our leader. We had Monday night forums, we had pre-budget consultations, we had pavement reports. Our leader is always available to everyone. She stood on a platform, she gave out an email number, an email address, my corrections, an email address, and a phone number where she can be reached at any time. And please get a pen and paper. Let me give you the Secretariat's numbers. The fax number, I'm going slowly so you can get it. The fax number is 636-6048. The office is 636-8145 or 636-9983. Opening hours are from 8:30 to 4 p.m. Stop toting feelings for the past 5 years and get with the program. We have an election to win. We want to live better. Have a good day, gentlemen. God bless.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
But it's
Yeah,
what you find really silent about this property tax, you know. Morning caller.
Morning, Andy. Morning, Mikey. Morning, Lennox.
Morning, sir.
I would ask a question. If after COVID, everything, the road was affected, we get big hole. Water was expected, we can't get water. Electricity was expected, we having problem. Poor people seem trouble to get medication and things. But how it is the minister and them had unruly could have millions of dollars for entertainment. And the next question is, when they had the problem with Brent Thomas, they send whoever bring Brent Thomas to Trinidad. The little boy, the 15-year-old that get bullied and commit suicide from Princestown. As the suicide take place, the family send that little boy to Guyana. How nobody can go for him? But the reason why nobody can go for him, that family is a big scrapyard family from the St. Mary's area in Maruga. I know them over 50 years now. They controlling the police. They control everything. The boy teacher is a woman, and that woman husband is a police. When the boy complained to the teacher tell the boy that I is not your mother. I wonder how she's feeling today that her mother and father lost the child. I wonder if she's happy. I wonder if she's happy about that, right? So these are the questions I want to ask everybody. So if there is a bully and you're the police and you could control everybody, your child could do what you want. And the poor people can't say nothing. They went so pants that boy in school, you know, because I know a member of the family. Right? So that's all I have to say for now. I have something else to say, but I forget it right now. Take care.
So you forget, Mr. Freeport. We had to say important though. Forgot. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Let me get some next call. Morning call. We're calling from. What's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
Look, Miss Ann wrong. Why something had to be wrong? And that lady this morning was so
spot on, and I'll always be saying this. People so focused on negativity. You know, they could never see the good in what people doing. It's other man. You have a nice wife. Your man doing all kind of things, them nice everything. You know, the one thing the girl can do is to make a roti and let swell and things. That's all he only talking about. Girl, you can't make roti. My mother must make roti nice. My mother roti is a swell. Why your roti is swelling? This and that. You know, and next man start to give your man bread. You know, he vex now. He get nice bread. He had to make roti again. Get hot up. He get all kind of things. You know, all the negative now when he was talking about he can make roti. You know, he begging for she to come back now. He said, girl, I am bound for no roti again. You just come back. When she done leave, your man gone. Only try and be a little focused on the good things and the positive direction this country needs to go now. Who is dissident and who I wanted this and what's going on and who can make whosoever win and things. Guide them. The focus of the people of Trinidad and Tobago who want to see better in this country cares about all the things that the previous government, the Samna Prasad did, what he did for the country, what all the roads and things that was paved, the laptop, the development, the direction the country was going in, and then the same set of hypocrites who only seen what they could have falsely for is why the government, the country is where it is today, and why it is being the opposition. Because all couldn't see all the good things and talk about that. All you want to only see about who are thieving and who is the contractor this and who is that and who is all kind of stupidness. Gave Rowley all the ammunition that he needed to convince the illiterate total population that we have today to say, hey, the government, UNC government corrupted. And then now we end up where we today. And then all come with the same notices again. If only pick out what all feel like to make controversy and give the PNM ammunition to continue that noticiousness, because we, since Eric William days, we was raised in a culture that hardly people can think of their own. Always want somebody to say something for them to elaborate and start. You see, young boy commit suicide, the whole country all in a sudden so concerned about bullying. They're so concerned about what laws and things to be passed. A month from today, you'll see it's the same thing. Nothing is going to say, no new legislation, nothing is going to happen to prevent bullying or to have people prosecuted or anything for bullying in the country. 1 month from today, you'll see it's back to everything. So people have to understand this. You understand? Look, in the last month, you know how much people committed suicide in this country? 10 men committed suicide in the country. Talk about young fellas who have children and wives and all this kind of thing. Committed suicide. Anybody taken note of these things? Why is so much people committing suicide in the country? Why is we as a people have deteriorated so much? But one issue, and all of a sudden, all of we is bully specialists, all of us is consultants in the country to know what is not right and what is wrong and all this kind of thing. But where the bully them coming out from? Not in the same home and going to the school. What a teacher supposed to do when he had a face? Discipline, harden children. We're supposed to take out a belt and beat them, and that's coming out from all your home. You understand? So try to rethink and retune all the way of thinking. A man tell all the country, hear what? Take an injection or do you can't walk. Take an injection and who dead? How much people die from taking injection? How much people paralyzed and have all kind of lifelong complication now from taking the vaccine? Nobody then talk about that, please. Nobody then come out and make all kind of video on TikTok and thing and say, hey, got big thinking bully who governing this country, forcing people to take vaccine, put something in the body that they don't want to take. If they are taking it and they die choice. But man tell you what? So even to get the work, you have to take it. But to do this, you have to take this. And everybody takes it and stay quiet. And now all the coming and talking as well. So my point back to yesterday, focus on the positive thing of how we should get UNC back in government and try to let people them get that ahead.
I agree with you. I agree with him there. I mean, the focus should be, of course, restoring good governance and doing what has to be done. Yeah, I agree with him.
You agree 100, but that's what the focus.
Yeah, but you see, I can't come here and play games. I don't care. I'm not here to be liked. Whether you like me or not is not a matter of oxygen for me. I want to make that crystal clear. They mentioned something about some tourism sports program. The allocation for that was zero. They mentioned something about some university for Tobago. The allocation for that was zero. But they made sure that on the books, $10 million for the EBC. For the EBC. The same EBC that we have many concerns about. The same EBC that seems to act independently, doing their own thing. And I am not here to showcase the sacrifice of people, to highlight the fact that the most vulnerable in our society are simply just trying to keep their head above water. I am not going to come here and lie that savings have been depleted, that parents have to stay up at night scratching their head what to do. You know by now, I've mentioned it many times, people, about the grocery games. When you don't think you have enough and you pretend you forget something and you run back because you're just thanking God as you walk through the aisle. Thank God I could go and get a piece of cheese. At least I could try to make something with that. You know how it is that you have cut back when it comes to cooking food in the house. You're even making a list to see what family you could go by this Sunday so it won't cost you nothing so you can eat off of them. Yes, you become a lout, you become a leech, and all of that, courtesy of Dr. Rowley and the PNM. Let's not play games here. All kind of things was mentioned in that budget. No allocation, Andy. No money. But $10 million. And on top of that, a new election management system. Mention one system that this government has put in place since coming into office that has benefited us as citizens. Name one system. Name one system. Name one system.
So truth.
Look how many committees. Look how many committees are set up, chaired by this one and chaired by that one. Total failure. And now you want to put our democracy and our civil liberties and the chance of us living better in the hands of these very same people and turn a blind eye? Man, it's $10 million. I am not here to be like, these are the facts. And I'm not going to join you in your song when you start your choir after the dust has settled. Oh, we should have done this. Oh, we should have done that. Maybe we should have looked at this. Oh, I saw something happening in Sandy Grande. And I saw something happening in Tunapuna. And I saw something happening in Chaguanas East. And I saw some sort of, disparities in Maruga Tableland. And I must sing that song with you. I don't mind if you're on the same flight leaving. Because you don't want to stay here. No right-thinking citizen want to give Rowdy and them another 5 years.
And
why are you continuing to vote against yourself? Go ahead.
And while they're talking that, all that talk there, they're talking that with Rowley remaining there,
Of course.
we lost. Rowley and the PNM remains there next 5 years, till 2030. And all we go be getting after is a whole bag of people just getting me the diagnosis of what went on, why we lost, and how we lost. And it's that machine with Mikey now talk about, but the people really
Yes. Another 5 years of getting up every morning and just relying on the ground report to bring you what you need to hear. And of course, those patriotic citizens who have always been here with us, they rely on that. They feel comfortable knowing that perhaps there are people out there willing to fight for them. There are people willing to take tear gas and rubber bullets and all of that. And so they feel comfortable. But let's take away all of that. Let's say tomorrow morning or whatever. Listen, we're no longer here. We're no longer here. We can no longer facilitate you. So you had to rely on the dailies. Some of them will say, well, we go and listen to this, we go listen to that. Okay, fine, no problem. All right, okay, cool. But at this point in time, at this juncture, we have the opportunity to say, hey, Rowdy, we don't like what we're gonna do with this EBC and this $10 million, At least let it be recorded. You can't just come and make a presentation and just let that roll over, and then the media pick it up just the day after and say, hey, oh, by the way, we are all fine exchange, $10 million for the EBC. And then the story done, the narrative gone. I mean, really? Really? And you're comfortable with that? I don't know, Andy. Who's on the outside? Good morning once again, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to our CARICOM brothers and sisters that are locked on Gael TV. Those of you in Guyana, Grenada, Dominica, St. Kitts, Nevis, wherever you are. And those of you out there in New York, in Canada, in the UK, in whatever part of North America. Those of you who are getting over Hurricane Milton, hope that you're safe and no damage, of course. And those of you who were hit, you are in our prayers, and we hope that you rebuild as quickly as possible. Good morning once again, wherever you are. This is the Ground Report.
Morning, caller. Where are you calling from? What's your contribution on the Ground Report this morning?
Andy Felix, boy.
Go ahead, Felix.
I give you a text concerning Anderson number. I only get the 285. Very important. I want to speak to him.
All right. That's why I had
hold on. All right, hold on there. Mikey.
Go ahead, Mikey. He listening.
Yes, Felix. Huh?
Yeah, I'll call you back after the program now.
All right, no problem. And we can always send you the number that you want. That's all. We'll send you the number via WhatsApp.
Yes.
Yeah, give me until, of course, we come off air, and I'll send it to you. All right? Who's on the outside here, Andy? If you have voice notes, you can play it as well.
Yes. Boy, people calling. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller. Pleasant good morning to you. Welcome to the Ground Report. Where are you calling from? Ah, boy.
We have them on there, yo.
Yeah, but I just can't be like them in hearing. Them in hearing, man. Why ain't? Oh boy. Yeah, Mikey. So on the topic there, let me just check something there. Oh boy.
All right, check and see if the connection is there.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I tell you. All right, so folks, it's your last chance. Tomorrow, as you know, is the Patriot Lunch, and you can hit us up. Andy Pitbull Williams, 366-3053, 366-3053. Lennox Smith, 337-6940. Yes, 337-6940, 337-6940. And yours truly, Mikey K, 494-0938, 494-0938. Yes. Can't wait for the aftermath. I mean, we have to get down to the EBC. And this time, numbers are very important. Numbers are very important. I'm going to tell you right now, numbers are very, very important. This is it. If you want to hold your belly and start to cry after the fact, then you are free to do so. Many of you ain't talking out right now because while you're listening to the program, you're still Googling. Guatemala, right? Where can I go? And they'll speak a lot of English. Okay. All right. Look at the price of a 3-bedroom house here. If I sell my house here, I could pack up and go. So they're planning, on their low, they're planning. The ones that you see quiet, they don't realize, on that very same night, when's the last flight leaving out of Trinidad to go so, right, okay, all right, cool. Yeah. Some of them just online in the airport itself. It work out, good governance. Kamla Prasad Bissessa, right, they cancel the ticket. They didn't care if they get back half the money. Matter of fact, they want no refund. They know we go live better. But anytime you see Rowdy prematurely come up on that platform and say, I have been told that we have secured it, we have sealed it once again, That's it. You start grabbing your boarding pass and you're gone. You're gone.
And you go talk before time too. You go be brave and bold. You gonna declare yourself early.
And they look and see where this hardware has been used to clinch, to steal an election. And look at the operations. Right now in Venezuela, they're in Christmas season, you know. It's Christmas season in Venezuela, you know. Any kind of restlessness here and people ain't giving in. We could get 3 months of carnival, you know. Yeah, let them get a costume and jump up in the hot sun for 6 weeks. You give them 3 months of carnival. Give them 3 soca monarch in that 1 quarter. We go crown about 10 calypso monarch. Yeah. The soca dome go be open 24/7. You could go to work, and if you feel like putting on your costume at night after work, go down by the soca dome. 3 months. They love that. They love that hot sun costume run and rum. Get them that for 3 months. And Maduro giving the people what?
Yeah. After the
About
election, you go get them back pay, all kind of thing.
all kind of thing, because you know you have nothing to stand on. Who we have outside? Who we have?
Go ahead, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, caller.
Yeah, go ahead, caller.
Good morning. Yeah, this is the gas man here, Andy.
Hey, gas man, go ahead, man. I'm glad that you find us, man. Go ahead.
Now, first thing first, I want to get 3 tickets.
Nice.
The chicken. That is first thing first, right?
3
so
chicken.
We have that on the list. Yeah, 3 chicken.
All right, man, gas man.
Yes. So my next point is the water that we have and the water problem. In Valencia here in Hollis Dam, right? We have no reason to have water problem. Because under the UNC government, under Pandy and Kamala, we had water for all, and we was moving very drastic and fast. That people was getting water, whether dry season or rainy season. And one of the reasons for that in the Hollis Dam is that it have a waterfall and it have 4 springs. There's be full in that dam. And spring doesn't dry. So we have water coming there 24. But what these people and them do, they just drop the bar in the dam and let the water escape. So they just have the water looking like it low. But if they raise the gate, the water will continue to full and the people will get water 24. Right? That is the problem why we not having water. Whether rain falling or not necessarily rain falling by the dam and all kind of madness. It's wicked, evil people we're dealing with. Right?
You know what that dam is. You know what that dam is. And do you see rain falling by that dam?
My grandfather used to go there.
Nice.
Rain falling in Valencia. Valencia Junction and all those get flood sometime. All over the place flooding. So how come the dam having water? And that water that has dropped the floodgate and let the water escape and let the water does the catchment part does be half full. So that half full water now, we wouldn't be getting it. But the people down in Westmoreland and all these places down there is where the water does be going to. And they're leaving the normal people to suffer to get river water, which we ain't getting river water. Because the water from Hollis Dam does go straight down to the people and them in Westmoreland and these big short areas and them. That is what has been taking place, right? My grandfather used to work this, so I could tell you, right? My next point again is the guy from San Grande, whoever, was talking about the Hindu school in Harima. I have 2 children went to Hindu school in Harima. And when the Kamala Prasad sister was in government, she have a passion for children and education. So she was building a school in Kukurit Road in Harima. Right, that school did almost finish too. And when the UNC PNM come into power, they stop all that. So the school right now, a big school I'm talking about it. Right, that was the children and them and the parents was passionate and so happy that they're getting a school. So they will be moving from Temple Street in Arima where the school originally was. Right? And when the PNM government come into power, they closed down that again. So the children and them, I think they moved the school to somewhere in Arima, some bookstore, some kind of thing too. I know exactly because my children are not in the school again, right? So that's the problem that we have in. with the school and the education, and these people naturally don't care about children. And from ever since I small growing up, I always hear they say, when I hear people wicked to children and animal, these are people that stay away from. These are wicked, evil, demonic people.
Children, animals, and senior citizens. Ain't that people wicked to children, animals, and senior citizens?
No, I will kind of differ from the senior citizen because many of the senior citizens is who have us in this position. They vote in PNM, no matter what. You are not as a young person. If you go in your parents' house and you only say anything else but PNM, they tell you that they point you out of the house. So I will stick with the animal and the children because these animal and children are vulnerable creatures that God put on the face of this earth. So when we reach senior, is we know how to have the foresight to see and to know that when evil taking place, according to the book of Pestilence, keep away from evil. Evil is not good. Envy and this thing and them, that is a parasite to any nation. And if the senior and the elderly who could vote, right, and make a difference, and they continue doing the same thing, well, then these is evil people. They're just wicked to their own self. These is people, Andy Williams and Mighty K, these is people who tell you that if they have to eat grass, if they have to eat stone, they prefer to do that than to vote for them people. Think about it. These is people that you don't even drink water from because they will kill you. I'm telling you, I seen it like it is. Right? The property tax partner, yeah, we're going on. We're not paying no property tax. We have to fight. We are the people who just go by the Red House and all about, and we just protest. And we cannot bow now to Rowley. We will never bow. We only have about 12 months again to go. And I asking the people and them, please repent and turn from all your wicked ways and do the right thing so all your children and grandchildren and all you will prosper. This is all I have to say right now. Mighty K, Mikey, to the people who listen on the website and etc. Please, we have some people in this country here that they're prone to evil.
Nice.
We know it.
Well, I know you close the Arima days, so if there's anything after, I go call you. And if there's anything I'll put in place where you could meet with somebody to get them 3 tickets now.
Okay, sir.
All right, partner.
Right?
Yes, my
Yes.
Yes.
Man. Yeah, Mighty K. Yeah.
Thank you so much, my brother. Next
quite
caller.
a lot there.
Morning, caller. Good morning, and where are you calling from?
Yes. We have to go market on a Sunday morning. What that? Not market on a Sunday morning or Saturday. Let me go see the market. Thank you, sir.
All right, everybody go a links machine in the market, man. Get bottle of water, man. Well, I links machine by the side of the road there. Then windscreen wiper man and them the go the links machine, man. Everybody go get links machine.
Even the taxing beggars and all.
Don't the beggars, this government taxing, boy. Oh boy. Morning,
boy.
caller, morning. Oh boy, I ain't here, boy.
Caller, you there?
I ain't here, boy.
Yeah, a man was telling me something yesterday. A man was telling me about Florida and Lebanon, and I said, look, listen, man. With all that storm in Florida, they still have pipe-borne water. You know? And I say, Iran or Lebanon, wherever, they don't have Rowley. See, but things still, I said, well, you don't understand Rowley and them. You know? If your house is being bombed like it is in the Gaza, they still want you to pay property tax on that, you know. So that's just how wicked these people are. You know?
That's the difference.
That's the difference. You know?
Morning, caller.
Yeah, morning, Andy.
Yeah, man, morning.
Yeah, Felix, you see that guy we call from Valencia?
The gas man.
Yeah, I give you 100% when he talk about the dam. I all woke up from forestry, and forestry was to preserve the forest and all kind of thing on the northern ridge. Right? And if you watch all Semben, they got all them pine trees and things. I one of the men who put down them thing, all going down by you, all bagatelle all about. Right? And that was to preserve for water and all kind of thing. When I hear Marvin Gonzalez and them talking about water and dam and all kind, them I know what they're talking about. Yeah. And you could call your partner in Gandhi, but I and he used to work together, Nasa Hussein, the councillor.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of us, look, he have a problem with a river passing through Picton Road in Gandhi there. And when he was doing work, you know, the people who take over, they come and they divert the water. And that man know about irrigation because all of us is know about that from the works we used to do with forestry. Right? So that fella know what you're talking about. Remember in Kamla, there's that man they call Budan?
Yes.
Right. And Budan is to say water for all.
Yes, that's true. Yes. He used to be on the ground report. Every call we make to help and assist people. Yes, he used to be. That's right.
All right, thank you. Next caller. Oh boy. Morning caller. Come on, all you. All right, let me run some voice notes day by the time there.
Morning, Andy. Orlando here. Just get off of the storm. We were safe. Everything passed good. 100 miles per hour wind. And we okay. Andy, I heard Rambali talk. I listened to him and I read his article and all those things on the papers. Excuse me. But I think Rambali is, they call him the Pandit Pussy.
Boy. Go ahead, caller. Morning.
Hey, Andy, what happened? Morning to you guys are the wrong report there.
Morning.
You know, if Trinidad have any heroes, if Trinidad have any heroes, is you guys, you Lennox, Mikey, and Andy. Andy, you alone can keep a whole protest. I walk twice around this savannah with you. The first time I see Mikey is when they detained Mikey and put him on that bus day. That was in the first bag day. Yeah. Well, Lennox, that man, so much of intellect. Lennox, if you talk to night, I can't go and sleep because I don't want to miss that kind of intellect that is be happening night. And it don't be the same thing like when I listened to it back in the morning. So I had to wake up to listen to Lennox boy. Mikey, we need to identify who are the enemies, boy. The enemies is not only PNM, is the proxies as well of the PNM, the media.
So true.
All the what it was I listened to this Ancham highly paid actor said he worried about if Trump win, what will happen to the gas deal and all kind of thing. But if the gas deal was clean, how come you're worried if it's clean? Anybody could come in there and once an ex-president see everything is clean, well, the gas deal could go on. So these people is highly paid actors that deceiving and all kind of thing. But really and truly, I feel we live in hell here, because I feel Trinidad here have more demons than human beings. So anybody asks me which way I live in, I say I live in hell. Right? But you guys just keep up the good work about the property tax thing, right? How come people just line up to pay this thing? Nobody make a march, nobody wave a flag, nobody 100,000 people supposed to go to the opposition leader with the thing and say, Mr. Opposition Leader, we just want to handle so we. And no momentum, nothing like that. But my own analysis of this thing, right, is that the people who already paid to meet this deadline, is that nobody coming back again to pay again. So they could extend how much deadline they want, nobody are going back to pay anything. So who stand up It's just like the vaccine thing. It reminds me of the vaccine thing. Who stand up, and they're moving. So fellas, take care. Bye.
I thank you very much. Oh boy, oh boy.
Thank you, Paula. Thank you. Who we have there? You have voice notes or there are folks who are on the line?
Morning, Andy. Orlando here. Just get off of the storm. We were safe. Everything passed good. 100 miles per hour wind. And we okay. Andy, I heard Rambali talk. I listened to him and I read his article and all this thing on the papers. Excuse me. But I think Rambali is they call him the Pundit Pussy. That's what Rambali is. He's a Pundit Pussy. The guy only talk about Kamala and this and that. The guy is a clown, man. People need to see Rambali and tell him, hey, the Mahasabha don't help nobody, Because I have a lot of Pandit family too. They don't help nobody. They all for themselves. All them Pandits. I have good Pandit friends. Okay? So tell them again. Tell Rambali. You better start looking for people to say prayers for him because he ain't gonna have nobody. Andy, morning, Orlando here. Andy, where I live in Orlando, we were very lucky. We had winds up to 80 miles per hour. Wasn't that a lot of tornadoes around the area? A lot of things knocked down trees. The stadium with the baseball, they lose the roof. The whole roof, the baseball stadium roof in Tampa gone. Some steel buildings collapsed. There was a lot of damages, but thank God where I live is very safe. We have nothing to worry about. No trees, nothing came down. Power all night, internet all night. So I could listen to the ground report. And we're hanging in there and we will talk and discuss about Rambali and that fool, that pussy pandit. We will talk later.
Morning, Mikey and Lennox. You see, now we have to go right now. Anybody going any higher, they say have to have US dollar, you have to pay in US. So you know what that leading down the road? That leading down the road, just like Venezuela. So we money wouldn't be no use again just now. We TT dollars wouldn't be no use. It could be just like how Venezuela money and no use.
And I'll live to see the day. And I will live to see the government fall. We only have to get out of it. 22 of them have to get out of it. All the call election now, and we sure all over injecting that could do. Andy, have a blessed and pleasant day. Love the ground program, love the ground report. I like to listen to all the morning, or to come back my coffee in the morning. Right? And me and my wife, I celebrate my birthday. I go and get ice cream and I get a cake. Right?
Oh, yes.
I get my $100. I could get other ice cream and a cake today. I will make it. Have a blessed and pleasant day. Hope to see you all. When this election call, we going behind them, They can't get away from this. We go behind them 100%. Have a blessed and pleasant day. Live and live better.
That is our partner. That is our partner, boy. Happy birthday, my brother. Happy birthday. Thanks for that, boy. Yeah. Happy birthday. And don't have no fear about tomorrow, okay? Blessings to you and your wife. Happy birthday indeed. Yeah, Andy, we have some more voice notes.
Yes.
Because
Going for family. The team. Andy, Mikey, Lennox. I tell you earlier again. Scotia Bank. Richard Young is still connected, I saw, to Scotia Bank. Stuart Young father, he was the hippie in Scotia Bank. So what I mean, is Scotia Bank in the game? So if Scotia Bank is because of Richard Young, right? Yeah, man. Trust me on that.
He's trying to choke in so much and missing it.
No, but before we go back to that, Andy,
Yeah.
I mean, really and truly, these people. I mean, again, they're debating a bill. You're debating a budget. This should be in the interests of the people of this country, first and foremost. All right. This is how we're gonna for the next, year. This is the money that we have. This is how we're gonna lay it out. All right. You came 5 hours, more than 5 hours, and a few minutes. You outline a set of things. I mean, the average citizen can't take away. The takeaway from that is, listen, how we benefiting Food prices change. Will I have money in my pocket? Are you going to restore consumer confidence? All of these things. And the answer to that is a big zilch. Nothing. Then they have where the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is yet to confirm if it is investigating a high UNC official for attempting to pay a hitman $60,000 to commit murder. However, the opposition leader said the entire thing reeks of a hoax for political gain. During his contribution to the budget debate on Tuesday, National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hines claimed a criminal in this country swore to the police that a UNC high official paid him $60,000 to commit a murder outside. That matter is under investigation. Who want to go and find out could go. You're the Minister of National Security. You gone into the space that is reserved to handle the people business, our business. And this is it? This is it? Are you saying that we as taxpayers paying for PCOM conspiracy theories? Yeah? Wait at the old talk. The media said they attempted to ascertain from the TTPS if any such investigation occurred or is ongoing. Right. Whether it occurred or is ongoing. A senior TTPS official said checks were being made to verify the minister's claim. However, up to yesterday evening, the TTPS could still not provide an answer. And efforts to contact Hines for more information on his claims were futile as he did not respond to WhatsApp messages. He didn't respond. But opposition leader Kamla Prasad Bisesa, initially dismissing Hines' allegations as election time nonsense and another iteration of the email gate controversy, Kamla Prasad Bisesa went on, of course, to deny that any member of her party is involved in such an investigation. No UNC official is under investigation, to the best of my knowledge. No NATEX member, no councillor, no alderman, no constituency executive member, no UNC official, she declared. The opposition leader added that even if an investigation was taking place, Minister Hines would have impeded the police work by making that statement in the lower house. Yeah, why come and talk about that? Why put that in jeopardy? Eh? Give us more. You have receipts? Tell us exactly what's going on. And that's what we get in, Andy. That is what we get in. That is what you're getting for your money. That is what you're getting when they instill that fear factor that if you don't want to pay property tax, they go do this, they go do that, and they go take your house. So Tanti and uncle and everybody who say, listen, I don't want to get tapped in that. This is all I have. Listen, my husband dead, my wife dead. This is where I raise my children. This is where my family living. I want to leave this, at least my grandchildren have a roof over their head. But I had to go out there and line up in the hot sun and sweat like a runaway slave to give you this money. And the only thing you can deliver to me in Parliament on my business is some talk about $60,000 for a hitman. And you ain't take it to the police? Erling come out and say there's an investigation. I mean, what we really doing, boy? We have had. You have on the outside of voice notes. Really good.
Look, Trinidad and Tobago are encouraging partner. That is
boy. Yeah.
Imagine that. Well, the lines are open. Eh? What's your contribution on the Gong Report this morning? Let's say a pleasant good morning to those of you that are Venus and Guile, the Caribbean. Good morning to each and every one of you. Welcome to the Gong Report. The numbers to call 225-6644. If you're calling from outside Trinidad and Tobago, make sure you put on 1-868-225-6644 or 239-5120, 239-5120. Give us a WhatsApp call or send us a WhatsApp voice note at 366-3053, 366-3053. Welcome, caller, to the Ground Report. Where are you calling from?
Calling from Port of Spain area.
All right, Port of Spain area. Go ahead.
Good morning to the rest of the team, Trinbago. I have a question. Year after year, monies are allocated in the budget the different city corporations, the different areas throughout Trinidad and Tobago. If we look at the budget over the past couple of years or over a period, just look at the budget. All these different corporations have allocated more monies to see about their business. Yet we are not seeing the results of the additional money that they put into these corporations, right? Now they're telling us that if we pay them more to live in our own homes, that the monies that they make from that is going to go toward these things. The money that they have allocated all this time to do these things, where is that money going? Because there's a situation right now in the Port of Spain City Corporation where there seems to be a problem with garbage collection. And they're saying that the contractors have not been paid, so they're not picking up the stuff on time and that sort of thing. Right now I'm in the Woodbrook area, and I lost my marbles some weeks ago when there was a business piece that dropped their garbage there. And the way that they dropped it, they were blocking the entire sidewalk. They couldn't even bother to use proper bags or boxes or whatever. It was just exposed there. And it just shook me off because I know a lot of people in the disabled community, the differently able community, and how people are supposed to navigate these things. Now, yesterday, the same thing happened again at different business space, but at least this business space used bags. The garbage was secured properly. However, it was still over the entire sidewalk. I went to the business owner and I said, listen, you can't move that to the side or something because people can't pass on the pavement. They turned and they told me, well, there's a problem. Apparently, the city corporation is striking because the contractors have not been paid. And also, if the bag that they pack there falls onto the roadway, they will then be charged or fined. Could we tell me, and this was right by a bus stop, that garbage stayed there for the entire day. I don't know if this is going on in other areas, but I've noticed that there's a problem with garbage collection. I'm lost to understand how this could happen. How is it that money could be allocated for these things? The money is being released, but somehow it not getting to the contractors for stand up here. What's going on in this country? More and more money has been put toward different projects or whatever, and we're not seeing the results of it. And we are the ones as citizens that have to foot that bill. What are we doing as a people? What are we doing? Is this okay? Trinidad and Tobago are a real place where unreal things happen. Have a blessed day. I don't know what to say again. Have a good day, people.
Thank you, caller. Song very, very
Thank you. Of course.
Very, very.
Remember, Andy, this local government reform thing was sold as the best thing since sliced bread, Everything would be taken care of, garbage collection, maintaining of recreational grounds, cemeteries, you name it, infrastructure. All of that was sold to us. Reform, meaning better, the best that this country has to offer.
And the property tax supposed to go towards it.
There you go.
Salwari, now the local government minister, saying that they're now organizing to put a working method in place.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Municipal police, all of that madness. All of that was sold to us. We have there. What you have?
Yes.
Yes.
Morning, Andy. Morning, Lennox. That Grandpa Pops, who supposedly are UNC, sounds a whole lot like another PNM agent, just like Port of Spain. Both of them come every morning just to spew lies, just to spew hatred against Kamala. I mean, the man talking utter spewing PNM proper false narratives. How on earth a baby grant could encourage anyone to have more children? When a grant is there to be able to assist people who are already poor and already in situations where they cannot help themselves. So what is he saying? Every grant in Trinidad and Tobago should be removed, should be revoked, because it encourages people to remain in their poverty. Something wrong with Grandpa, boy. I would love to see Grandpa in real and have a serious debate with him. No, serious. I would love to talk to Grandpa in real, boy. Because something wrong with that man. That man just full of hate. That man has a personal vendetta against Kamala. And as I said, to me, he's sounding like another. You could never know if it could be even paid. The man sounding like a PNM agent, right? Also, quickly, the when he stated about the building of the Arima Hospital and all these different projects that she did throughout Trinidad and Tobago, I hope PNMites that listen to the program would realize that he proved the point that Kamala served each and every one in Trinidad and Tobago, and not just UNC. She didn't serve. She didn't just provide for the UNC constituencies, right? She provided services for everyone throughout Trinidad. Trinidad and Tobago, right? Also, the schools that Munsami mentioned, yes, over 100 schools, and there's a video on the I think it was on Facebook, that on the UNC page or something like that, from years now, where the former Minister of Education listed out for the PNM all the schools that were either started or completed under Kamala's administration. And it was a lot of preschools, primary schools, and also secondary schools. So I was glad that she mentioned that, but that is information that has been out for a long time, and UNC needs to do more. This is constructive criticism now. UNC needs to do more to advertise these things on mainstream media. Don't wait until elections is called. Start having paid political ads from now. I know their resources are limited, unlike the PNM, who is in government. But even if it's a once a week or once a day or whatever, run an ad on mainstream media. Let people know. Play the Jawala Rambaran ad also, where he debunks tax booths lies about the treasury being empty. Right? That is just a few suggestions. Also, one more thing. I do agree with callers when they say that UNC MPs need to be on the ground more. Go and meet with your constituents. Go and they need to Kamala needs to go as the future Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. She needs to go and meet with the people in Tobago. They are crying out for her. They want to see her. They want new leadership in Tobago. So Kamala, please go and meet with the people in Tobago.
Morning, guys. You see that same man who calling every day to criticize Camilla and the UNC this and the UNC that, and then saying he's a UNC, is the same one who called and said Tuesday morning would book the stock too long. But that is why he find anybody who talking too long and aim by talking to UNC is the enemy. But Mr. Man, let me tell you now, you in your red dress, go and get somebody to make a balize hat for you, and you will know. Everybody will know for sure. You would know that you are a PNM. You understand? Or you're always criticizing the UNC this and the UNC that, and PNM that mashing up the country. All you had nothing to say. You understand? But it's always Camilla this and the UNC that. You understand? So you stand this morning. Look how long you talk. And when you talk, Camilla do this and Camilla and do it. You're like a little rejected little woman. Camilla didn't do this and Camilla and get this and Camilla and do that. Look, mister, the UNC don't need people like you. So dress up in your red now and come out and gallery.
Afraid, pussy bite me. Morning Gong Report, morning Trinidad and Tobago, morning to the mighty K and Lennox Smith. Andy Williams, that gentleman, I just really listen to him, but that man always have something on Kamala. he always bring a contribution and always lean on Kamala. To me, that man just sit down and piss. And he tell us all them women in Trinidad and Tobago. He mouth rotten. Afraid, 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 pussy bite me. I buy a bottle of whiskey, shove it in pussy whiskey. Afraid, 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 pussy bite me.
Andy, good morning again. I want to tell Horseface, Mr. Porterspain. I shouldn't say Mr. I should Vagrant Porterspain. The the last man who put me out the cabinet, who fired me from the cabinet, he. I from Mason Hall close to Legui Toto, and the last man who put me out of cabinet, he, right? And bam, man and gas stroke. And think this man mouth polite boy. This man only had to talk with something. And don't let this man, Andy, don't let this man put him out on here. Boy, this man blight boy. He need to be you know them long time copper where carrying used to boil sugar in. You full that with some Balige bush, black stage bush, hog plum bush, Karaili bush, and put that man to sit down inside that and boiling hot and put him inside it to sit down to get him zombie out of this Prime Minister boy. I don't know if that will work now. Maybe you know who had to perform that ceremony? Mr. Tabakit. They're the man who nobody obia and thing and who know how to get rid of spirit from people and thing. Mr. Tabakit, what have a spell for Prime Minister Rowley now?
Andy, good morning. Okay, let's just such a stupid thing that call has to say. I think he's drunk this morning, early morning. That's his behavior. You know? Yeah, everything he says is a waste of time. You know? Just ignore these type of people.
Good morning, Andy, Lennox and Mikey. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Andy, I just come in here and I managed to hear a man talking about Camelland Hospital in Shogunas and the open field and the Caroni unit, if I'm not mistaken. But listen, you see what that man was talking here? That man, some man has some serious issues, why? Because I remember I used to work Shogunas and I remember that they was going to put on a hospital on the Savannah Road there in Caroni there. You understand? They had already started putting on all the works and everything. So I have no idea what this man is speaking about. But that man, something wrong with he. So I'd be seriously wrong with he. So because somebody didn't talk to you for 2 minutes or so, you so bitter and so angry. What is wrong with you? And always so talking about party. Listen, man, let me tell you something. Pops or whoever the hell you is, this is not about party, eh? This is about country. And right now, we have a country to save. Okay? And it's that.
Good morning again, Andy, Mikey, and to everybody out there. That caller said that he didn't see anybody protesting against the property tax and people just went and paid. Really, sir? Where were you when we were out there protesting against the property tax? And then he's saying 100,000 people should have taken it to Mrs. Basabi Sessa, to the opposition leader, and say, yeah, handle this first. How do you think that it came down to 2%? Because she had been fighting it in court. She has been fighting it every which turn. Because of her, we didn't have to pay it. Because of her, she took it to court. When Rowley was threatening people $5,000 or jail if you don't fill out the form, she took it to court. There is so much the opposition can do. And eventually the opposition had their say, but the government.
But the government will have their way. Let me just finish that voice. No, the opposition will have their say, but the government, in truth, will have their.
The government had their way. It's not that people just went out there and paid. No, there was a lot of struggling in order to go and pay that property tax, to get there to pay that property tax. They didn't just sit down and twiddle their thumbs. They fight for it, and that's how it came down to 2%. They couldn't get it because they keep asking them to abolish it, abolish it. They didn't want to do it, and they brought it down to 3%. And she, I don't know if you heard it, she made everybody aware that they can take it back anytime to the parliament and change the rules and raise it to 10%. And if it is that people don't want to go out and vote because elections have consequences, and 10% on property tax would be a consequence of putting back the PNM into office. Thanks a lot, guys.
Morning, Andy for Grandy. I see in Pleasantville Secondary School where there's a gang infestation taking place there, and they extorting your children for money now. You form one children and then who go into that school, and they're bullying them too, and they want people to join the gang, and they're trying to initiate youngsters to.
Oh boy, morning caller. Where are you calling from? What's your contribution on the ground report this morning? Morning. Next caller. Morning caller. Yes, man, Barapo. Morning.
About when you give 500 people, more women with one make children, you're encouraging things. Probably give a murder grant in the country. Because under his tenure, we had the most of the murders and killings in this country. Did Rowley give a murder grant? And if they give a funeral grant, plenty people want to kill themselves to collect the grant. That is logic these people have in it. They cannot think on their own. They cannot analyze things. When you give a grant to help somebody in a situation that they are in, that is probably difficult for them to go through. You already in a difficult situation. You go on because you're getting $500 to help you out. Go and make too much run to get $1,500. That is logic them have. Well, when Kamala come into power, we're going to give an early death grant, $1,000. So let me see half of them go and kill themselves, collect that $1,000. Early death grant we're proposing for all people who want to collect $1,000. Because if $500 is encourage women to make sure, and we're going to give it $1,000 for all the dead. So all go collect $1,000 when all are dead, as soon as UNC come in office. Have a good morning.
All right, all right. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
To join the gang, and if they ain't doing it, they're beating you. Tell me, if this entire fiasco, in part and parcel, and the degradation under this PNM government, tell me about that. Because you're seeing where the schools have been turned into a jungle now. A jungle like Dr. Rory say, hyenas running around inside. Even the teachers free these children because of the way they're getting on. I think it's time for a zero tolerance on these individuals, hold all of them and their parents, and start putting their tail in some boot camp or something like that, because they cannot have these sort of delinquent children coming in the school and making a mockery of the educational system in this country, especially for the ones who want to learn. Them want to create mayhem and mischief and smoke and misbehave, put them in a jail or in a boot camp. Let them learn something there. Have a good day, Andy.
Wow. Well, that's it for voice notes there, but meanwhile, well, they're hearing the people. But I wonder if they hear on the basis of jump by jump blow if the people and get their act together. We all will just be telling the stories after if we don't deal with the situation when it comes to the EBC. And that $1 million. To bring what kind of machine? What kind of machine they bringing by?
Electronic machine, Andy. Electronic machine. Let me put it where it needs to be put. An election thieving machine.
A machine similar to that is what Venezuela had, and people still saying, well, the opposition win, but Maduro win. Wow.
No. Listen, we're not here to knock any sort of advancements that is going to be efficient, right? As long as it's transparent, we have no problem with that. But anybody who destroy the integrity and trust that the people no longer have in the EBC is Rowley and the PNM. And all they have to do by restoring it is having a free and fair election with a system that he says that we've had many times and used many times before. That's all. Why go and spend $10 million for something new or to work out the kinks, to get it online, to perhaps there's some mistakes. What, it's just going to stay there and pile up in somebody's corner? It's $10 million in a guava season. You talk about University for Tobago, $0. You talk about some tourism sport program, $0. But you make sure $10 million for the EBC. What the EBC needs so badly that they had to get $10 million. And you have many members, many people from the EBC going about and being a part of international election observer bodies. Look how many of them, the same Miss France, what dances. So come on. You was in Guyana. You know the system. What's the problem? $10 million for what?
The thief. Let me take this one call here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Morning to you, sir.
One, Dial TV. I want to draw people's attention to what is happening in Jamaica with their current Prime Minister and the Integrity Commission. Apparently, there is some issue with the Prime Minister with his declaration with the Integrity Commission in Jamaica. And it's similar to what has happened in Trinidad. The only thing in Trinidad, KCR went after Integrity Commission. In Jamaica, it is totally different. The integrity going after people who misbehave. And there is evidence apparently that a particular company they call Barritas. I'm sure everybody in Trinidad understand Barritas and its linkages with investment with Shortman and NCB Global. Apparently, they gave him some money. They might have gave him money to buy real estate, similar to KCR, you know. So we have to watch that very, very closely, how their population doing with their Prime Minister, who is alleged misbehaving public office. The other thing quickly I want to advise KCR on, his 50 million entertainment budget. I believe I did a calculation, and based on the attendance to all them parties, he wants those people he wants to invite to his party. If he give them tricks and sardine, just as how they given the people in the hospital tricks and sardine, he could save taxpayers $49.5 million. You know, that is how we could save the country some money. I go and have a nice morning.
Thank you. It's exactly 10 o'clock, Mikey. Wrap us up, my brother. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
All right, folks. All right. Don't forget tomorrow, Patriot Lunch. Don't forget tomorrow, Patriot Lunch. So again, those of you now coming on board to get it, Andy Pitbull Williams, 366-3053, 366-3053. Lennox Smith, 337-6940, 337-6940. And yours truly, Mikey K, 494-0938, 494-0938. And don't forget later on tonight, our very own Lennox Smith Corridor Transformation at 8 p.m. on social media. Until then, folks, try to stay alive. Try to stay alive. We are out of here. Hey, in the morning, for those of you in Port of Spain to pick up, it is on Stone Street. So tomorrow, if you need the address, I will send you the address. If you want, you can WhatsApp me. We have a pickup on Monroe Road in Canupia. We have in Arima. We have in Aruca. and we have in Port of Spain. Unfortunately, we have nobody in San Fernando, so we will try to get somebody down there who has bought. There are a few people, but nobody was willing to volunteer. Anyhow, all right, $10 million for the EBC. That's all I have to say. $10 million for the EBC. Yeah, it's a talk show, but it's not a talk shop. So anyhow, some changes are coming. Some of these changes you may not like, but it is the reality. Okay.
So Tobago and tell them tomorrow morning, please God, we are out of here.
Trinidad is a boat sailing on the earth. Go sail on it. Oh Lord, I go sail on it. Whether it fast or slow, wheresoever it goes, I go in with it. Tell them I go in with it. I go sail when the tide is slack. I go sail when the tide is near. If she go
yes, indeed. Of course, if Trinidad is a boat, I will sail on it and I'm going to hell and back. Of course, we will do so, making sure that we perform a catharsis, a cleansing, a purging. There's some from the religious perspective may well say that you perform what the religionists call exorcism, whichever it is. It is about cleansing and getting rid of the evil and the debris that is, of course, so toxic that Trinidad and Tobago has been disfigured. And the Rowley administration clearly is culpable, has perpetrated, has executed such a devastating measure, condition on Trinidad and Tobago. So, of course, we see tonight at 8 o'clock on the corridor transformation, and then, of course, back here tomorrow on the ground report. Have a wonderful rest of the day. God bless. And see you tonight. Bye-bye.
With excess baggage.